Here we go now.
Here we go now. Here we go now. Here we go now. Boots on the ground. If you watched the Real Housewives of Atlanta after show, then you know why I did that. Guys, happy Memorial Day. Happy Memorial Day. Okay? Happy Monday. I kind of wish I had Memorial Day off too. Whose barbecue am I going to today? Well, it's been a little nipply here in New York City, so ain't nobody really trying to be outside. Today's supposed to be fairly warm, though, here in New York City. I think like 73 degrees. But the last few days, it's been rainy, and then it was chilly. And I mean, I don't mind spring-like weather, but it felt like we went from summer to fall, not even spring. Because spring, even at night, it's not 40-something degrees. But it's okay. It's all right. We're here. We're queer. Get used to it. Speaking of queer, don't forget, excuse me. Not me choking. Don't forget, the Kempire new Pride merch is now available at houseofkempire.com. And we don't spell house House. Okay? Okay, girls. How you doing? Come on. Wait. How you doing? Come on. No. It's HAUS of Kempire.com. All right. So head on over to the description for more details, or you can go to TheKempire.com and check out the new Pride merch. We also have some Juneteenth merch. There's some Juneteenth merch available right now. However, I have some new Juneteenth related merch coming this week. So stay tuned for that. There's also fast shipping available now with our partners over there. So again, more information on all of that will be available. So you'll have your Pride and your Juneteenth merch just in time for next month. All right. We are still celebrating my birthday over here. Yep. Come on now. Yes, it's still my birthday. It's still my birthday month. And because I didn't get to travel for my birthday, y'all gonna hear about it to the end of the month. So I got how many more days? All right. We're still celebrating my birthday, my 21st birthday, the anniversary of it. By the grace of God that we're still here celebrating a birthday, right? Come on now. All right. Where do I want to begin when it comes to the Real Housewives of Atlanta? Well, let's start with our sponsor, because even though it's Memorial Day, some of us are still on a diet. Some of us are not going to a barbecue. Some of us are in places where it's too cold. Some of us don't celebrate Memorial Day because you live outside the United States, which is fine. Our friends over at Factory Meals have you covered. They give you chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals that you can have in just 2 minutes. One of my favorite things, though, of Factory Meals is their add-ons. They have like 40 plus add-ons, things like the ginger shots, the little pressed drinks and things like that. Love, love, love them. And of course, they have everything for if you have a different type of diet. Okay, if you have a different type of diet, they've got you covered as well. Let me open up my little thingamajig so that I can remember what exactly they have included in that. So, reminder. So, our friends over, they said, summer is here, more sun, more light. My favorite part of the year. More time to do all the things that make summer so special. And the number one thing that you don't want to be doing all summer is spending hours cooking inside. And you also don't want to turn on that oven, right? All right. So get started at factormeals.com/Kempire50 off and use code Kempire50 off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. That's code Kempire50 off at factormeals.com/Kempire50 off for 50% off plus free shipping. Factormeals.com/Kempire50 off. More information on Factor Meals will be available in the description. And shout out to all of you that have been taking advantage of our discount code and, supporting us, but also supporting your own self with good meals, right? All right. Real Housewives of Atlanta, guys, if you had to rate this week's episode between a 1 and a 10, live chat on TikTok, shout out to everyone watching on TikTok and those of you watching on Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter as well, and our YouTube community. How would you rate this week's episode? Based off of what I'm seeing on YouTube, because we have a poll, don't forget to vote in the poll, those are on YouTube. I have to say, week after week, you got, and this is not a bad rating, but it goes back to what I said on Watch What Crappens today. For those that may have missed it, I was on Watch What Crappens, their podcast. Be sure to check that out. I recapped with Ronnie the latest episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Be sure to check that out. Mods, if we can post the links in the live chat, I will post it in the description for the replay crew as well. And those of you that are watching on TikTok, Twitch, or Twitter, head on over to your favorite podcast platform. And listen, we had a good kiki and a lot of sidebars. Well, part 1 of my conversation with Watch What Crappens is now available. So go be sure to check that out and spread the word. But what I said on there was that I felt like the season was giving mid. And based off the ratings week after week, when I say our ratings, not necessarily the live ratings, even though the live ratings have been kind of, mid too. So you guys are rating in the live chat with almost like 420 something votes. You're rating it between a 4 and a 6. But I kind of want to know what your actual rating is. For those that are in the live chat, let me know what your actual rating would be. Is it a 4? Is it a 5? Or is it a 6? All right, Teresa says, I'll give it a 7.5. It was okay. That 7.5 is not, it was okay. 7.5 is actually pretty damn good. I was surprised that they left Phaedra towards the end of the episode, but it makes sense when you think about the timeline of everything. Phaedra came in 2 weeks before they wrapped filming. And based off how everything played out, and I talked about this as well on Watch What Crappens today, it says to me, the fact that they kept the Kenya of it all in at the top of this season, yes, it was a big storyline, but it also was a liability for the network. And I said, if they had kept it in, that says to me the rest of the season was giving mid, if not bad. And the fact that they brought Phaedra in, the signs are telling me that they were concerned about the season. Yes, they didn't have a big player like Kenya anymore, so they had to bring in another big player. But I thought Porsha was supposed to be a big player. Didn't y'all pay her millions of dollars to return, allegedly? But we already see how that's, everyone is saying that Porsha's return has been a flop. Well, here we are. Okay, see, Teresa says, okay, I enjoyed it. Laughing out loud. See, Teresa, a 7.5 is not bad. But I'm seeing a lot of 3s, 4s, 6s. That's not bad. I do think a rating between 4 and 6 is not bad for a season, especially when it's a new season with a good majority of new people. I don't think that's a bad thing. But when I'm watching it week after week, like this week's episode, I was like, it was okay. If I had to rate this week's episode, I probably would give it a 5. Yeah, probably give it a 5. And then Phaedra comes in at the end. I thought Phaedra might come in a little bit earlier in the episode, but I guess based off the edit and the amount of time that she actually filmed, it doesn't make sense. Brianna says this whole season is a flop. Again, I think I'm grading all the Housewives shows now on a curve because of how bad Real Housewives of New York was. Because when I say a flop, I think about Real Housewives of New York. Point blank period. I feel like they really need to make some big changes. And I know Andy said that they're interviewing like 10 new housewives. That doesn't mean all those 10 women are going to be considered or that they're rebooting that entire cast. Because based on what I heard, they're not. Even though a good amount of people could go. Okay, a good amount. We already went through this. We're not going to go. The Real Denied Dan says 5 is too high, Kempire. It's my rating. I'm not going to critique your rating. You could have given it a 2. And what if I said, no, that's my rating. You're here for my recap. It's okay if you disagree, but say like, no, I would rate it a 3. I don't know. But anyway, let me get into this. Let me get into this Real Housewives of Atlanta recap. Okay. Speaking of Atlanta, though, just because they showed the what is it, name of that market area, that's exactly where City Winery is. Don't forget the Kempire After Dark, a live summer tour, is coming to Philadelphia first on July 10th, Atlanta on August 5th, then Washington, D.C. on August 22nd. Then we're back here in New York City on Friday, September 12th. The New York City show has a live stream option exclusively. So even if you're coming to the Philly show or the Atlanta show or the DC show, get the live stream ticket for the New York show, because what I say in Philadelphia, it definitely ain't gonna be what I say in New York. Oh, I can't wait, because this is the villain era. So this is going to be a different type of show. Yes, the Kempire After Dark show, I was cussing and doing all this other stuff. Oh, no, it's about to be. When we talk about the villain era, if you've been here, then you already know what the villain era entails. So expect that for the live show. Get your tickets today. More information on that will be available in the description. All right, so let's get into this. Shamia and Kelly by the pool. Shamia. But I knew this. I already knew that you guys would turn on Shamia. All of y'all were like, oh my gosh, Shamia is the glue. Shamia is that girl. She's got a $9 million house, blah, 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 blah. Twerk. That was all of y'all. Only for us, well, not us, y'all to turn on Shamia and say she's such a lap dog. Understandably. But I said, come on, guys, wait. Let's just see how the season plays out. I'm not going to sit here and say that she's the glue or she's the shero that's saving Atlanta and that we should have had Shamia this entire time. I was like, let's wait. Let's see how the season goes. And look, 12 episodes in, all of you have turned. Well, I haven't turned. I've been consistent. Go check back my recap from episode 1. I was like, I don't know about the Shamia one. I don't know about her. It's going to take more than a $9 million house to impress me. Okay. But that's me. That is me. All right. And she's my Taurus sister. Like, I want to ride with Shamia, but she makes it so hard. She makes it so hard for me. Right. Anyway, Caramel Kisses says that Shamia has just been embarrassing herself. That whole barking. Like, she did it on Watch What Happens Live. She's doing it in the confessional. She did it in that scene. I'm just like, oh, Shamia, stop. She did say in the after show that she regrets doing that. Yeah, but I have a feeling that you're going to do more of that. Just saying. So anyway, so Shamia, she's like, hey, best friend. See, that's why I'm kind of looking very much like we were talking about this with Bozoma St. John, where Bozoma says she has like 100-something best friends. Shamia's just like, hey, best friend to Kelly, even though they've definitely developed a friendship, but you screaming, calling her best friend, and then in your confession, it's like, well, I feel like, she says, I feel like I can find a friend in anyone except Drew. Like, I feel like you've been coming for Drew since episode 1 and coming for Drew's singing. If Drew was a Countess Luann, and she couldn't sing. Yes, Countess Luann. You catch that shade. It's not shade, it's a fact. You can't sing. But she's touring. Fine. If Drew couldn't sing, and if Drew was truly delusional with her music career, I could understand shading her. But Shamia, she's got a whole project out. She's got a beautiful voice. And she's had time, allegedly. I'm just going to say allegedly because I just never know with Drew. Drew likes to, the other day, Drew was saying she was cousins with Michael Jordan and said it dead face serious. Like, yeah, that's my cousin. My maiden name is Jordan. So when she drops the name that she was signed to Edmonds Entertainment, and at first I'm like, oh yeah, wow, Drew. I'm not surprised though, because I do believe I believe those particular things from Drew because she actually has talent as a singer. Okay. However, I just never know with Drew. That's the thing. There's always a little like, well, was that a lie? Because if someone comes out and says, you were never signed to, Slip and Slide, I don't know. But maybe she was. I mean, you can go find that information, I'm sure. But obviously, Drew is talented. She's a talented singer. But the constant shade from Shamia towards Drew is so weird. It's weird. Yes, you don't like the fact that she called you a lapdog, but if you've been coming for Drew since episode 1 in the name of Porsha, it's like Porsha doesn't even have that level of loyalty to you at all. Literally, when you're fighting with Drew about something that you brought to Porsha about Porsha's child, Porsha is sitting there mute. Did y'all notice that? Porsha is sitting there mute. Doesn't instead of actually stepping up and saying to Drew, well, Drew, the fact that you mentioned my daughter, I didn't like that. No matter how you said it. She didn't say anything. Porsha sat there, left Shamia out there to dry. But if the tables were reversed, Shamia would have been chiming in like a good lapdog. Woof. Y'all notice that? Oh, Kim, we're going to talk about it. Kim says, you never know with Drew. She looked pretty happy in the kitchen with Ralph the other day. Yesterday? Oh, thank you for that segue, actually, Kim. Let's get into that because although I'm enjoying Drew, the fashion and the hair and everything are looking great this season. Outside of the Ralph storyline, I actually enjoy her this season. And I might enjoy her because everyone's coming for her for no reason. Okay? But I've been telling you, I'm questionable about Drew and Ralph and this divorce storyline. And I told you, literally, she put out that music video and she used the actual likeness of Ralph. And I said, y'all are not in the place that y'all claim to be during this season. And you're not going to sit here and say, well, we are in a better place now. No. Sidebar. This is what I was saying to Ronnie on Watch What Crappens. I was like, I don't mind a sidebar. We took quite a few sidebars during our recap on Watch What Crappens podcast this week. Sidebar. Phaedra says she knows Ralph because they shared a manager. Her former manager manages him. Manages what? Lies! The lie! And that tells me everything that I need to know about Ralph. He wants to be a star. Ralph, you are not a star. No one's interested in you. You're not likable. You might be good looking, but that's about it. Are you going to try and model at your big age? No. Why do you have a manager? I can understand Drew having a manager. She's been an actress for a very long time. Why does Ralph, wasn't he in like the tech world? Why does he have a manager? Oh, for the podcast? Is that why he has why does he have a manager? Hey, Judy. Why does he have a manager? I'm not, because he's on a reality show. That's why he has a manager. Whatever. Tommy, if you don't get away from me with this stupidity right now, when she said, I was like, what? Okay. I haven't forgotten. I want to play this clip because over the weekend, we got this video footage of Drew and Ralph in the kitchen, co-parenting for the kids. But wait, hold on. Let me play this clip.
Hello, Ralph. What do you call me? Hello, Ralph. What do you call me? Yo, Drew, I made all of this food here. The steak, the hot dogs, the chicken. Let me taste it. I'm going to sit down and make me a plate.
Hey, Helen.
Oh. Hey,
hi,
grandmama.
Feeding. Wait, Helen?
Ralph made the steak?
Oh, look at this.
Wow, that's so good.
Look good, though. The food look good.
Drew's making the cabbage. Her saute. Little peppermint. We're going to have to table that to see how it tastes.
And look, I'm here for them getting along and co-parenting. But based off of how everything's been playing out this season and on social media last week, he was talking about how he supported Drew's mother when she lost all her late husband's money. That was last week's episode. This week, Ralph posted that clip of them in the kitchen and Ralph feeding Drew Sidora for the podcast listeners that didn't get to see it. Feeding Drew Sidora. Oh, we're feeding each other now. He says, didn't wear the apron, but she called me daddy in the kitchen off camera. I really do this cooking thing. Happy no drama Memorial Day weekend. Y'all be safe. So Drew chimes in the comment section of the Neighborhood Talk and says, we have to co-parent and maintain a good relationship for the sake of the kids. From my conversation with my mother, I've been trying to approach things in a better way so that the kids feel secure and loved. Obviously, I had no idea this was going to be posted. Based on how I looked, I thought it was private, hidden family moment, not something meant for social media. Do you believe that this divorce is real? Okay, if they were just in the kitchen cooking, I would be like, fine. He lives in the basement. The basement entrance is a side character this season of Real Housewives of Atlanta. I loved it last week when they kept on showing the camera to the basement. But the whole feeding her, I was like, okay. And some might say, look, let me play devil's advocate. Some might say, well, even though you're divorcing, you're so used to that person being your person and asking you to be in an open relationship, but who cares about any of those things? Okay, fine, Drew. But I also told you I feel like maybe this might be Drew's last season. I don't think it should be based on the energy that Drew's been giving, but I'm tired of her and Ralph in this storyline. Okay, we're fine. Isis says that Ralph is trying to make her look bad. I mean, she's making it quite easy for him, though. You think I'm taking food out of your hand? No, okay, we're co-parenting, fine. Then he went up to the bedroom too. Sally says, "Are they still together? They still live in the same house." So, Danique says, "I think the divorce is real. Maybe." Look, maybe. Philly John says, "I'm here for reconciliation." I don't think they should reconcile. This man, she has accused this man of cheating on her terribly. He's also accused her of cheating on him, but she said that he cheated on her first. Dawn says, "I think the divorce is real." I think the divorce might be real, but this storyline may not be real. I don't know what it is. All right. Danielle says, I still think it's real. They're just both weird. Maybe. All right. You know what? Teresa says, "I'm liking Drew this season. Lies and all." Leo says that Ralph is going to use that against her. Well, she made it easy for him. Okay. Alma says, "I think it's real, but they still hook up." Well, some of y'all still hooking up with your estranged husbands and baby's fathers. So I'm not judging Drew. But Tyler says, "Reconciliation? Hell no." All right, so let's get back to this. So, damn, I didn't even get into the first scene. This first scene was weird, though. So, Shamia and Kelly are by the pool. Let me just point out things that stood out to me. So, they're at this $9 million house. Let's shake up this champagne and let's pop bottles. Just the two of them. Popping bottles into the pool. And I was like, why are they popping 2 bottles? Oh, we're going to take it to the head. Oh, we're so damn classy. Hey, Marco. Marco says, "New subscriber." Who's new here? Let us know in the live chat. And follow her here on TikTok. Okay. So they shaking up the champagne bottle. Shaking it up. Pop those bottles and then just take it to the head. I was like, okay, wow. Critical Thinker says, "We look, comment, but we don't judge." In parentheses, yes, we do. I told you that's only during our dating lives. And if you missed it, this past Friday, we did a dating live, but we were unpacking the whole AD. Congratulations to AD. She just announced her and Ali are expecting a baby. Her interview with Ashley from Love is Blind. We unpacked that on Friday, and then we had some callers as well. So if you missed that, you can also hear it on the podcast as well. So they look, Keith says they're Bugetta. It just stood out to me. I have to point these things out to me because this is my recap, all right? It's fine. Y'all might be doing that by your pool too, okay? Delisa says, "I'm new, but love your recaps, Kempire." Thank you. Thank you. All right. Jayla says they're both goofy. Yeah. All right. So Kelly gives an update on what's going on with her divorce. As you know, Kelly took 2.5 years to get her divorce from that man, that thing that she was married to. Kelly, that thing that she was married to. And she said that she had to pay her attorney, what was it? Let me see, I wrote it down somewhere. Where is it? Oh, $158,000 in her divorce. And that was just for her attorney. But she said her divorce, now we know her divorce has been finalized. But she says her divorce is about to be finalized after 2.5 years. So Angel says Baps. That's exactly what it was giving. The two of them. Tobogo, a new subscriber from South Africa. Shout out to everyone watching from South Africa. All right. So, okay. So Kelly gives the update on that. Shamia says that she can find a friend in anyone. Apparently, which I will always question people like that. You can find a friend in anyone. That says to me a lot more about your character than anything. But that's me. I'm a Taurus. Oh, so is she. Okay. So Kelly says, I want to take us on a trip in the Caribbean. And Shamia says, the Maldives. The Maldives is not in the Caribbean. It's in the Indian Ocean. Come on. Y'all know what I thought of? Lies. The lies. I thought of Europe cities, but I understand a lot of people probably don't know where the Maldives are. It's fine. So she's in the Maldives. How we end up in Brazil? For me, that little game of trying to guess where they were going, I was like, okay, there's a lot of Caribbean islands. Just tell her, Kelly. Just tell her where we're going, please, because this is weird at this particular point. Okay, fine. We're going to Grenada. All right. So after Shamia tries all the different guesses, even down to South America, I mean, Brazil would have been a nice trip, though. I didn't think about that. I was like, Brazil would have been a nice trip. But what I like that they're going to do with this trip, they're going to try and give back because literally they had just had the hurricane there. So that will be really, really nice. So they end up calling the guy to figure out, what are the things that you guys need and things like that. All right, so that's going to be the group trip, okay? Fine, let's get to the next scene. So Porsha, we love real estate. Porsha goes to look at a $4.2 million home, 8 bedrooms, 7 baths, maybe 7.5, I can't remember. 7 baths with Lauren, her sister, and her mother, Miss Diane, okay? Sidebar, are we still speculating on what happened between Miss Diane and Mama Morton? Remember, we were saying either it was their babysitting companies, that they both had babysitting businesses, or it was a man. Y'all were leaning on the man part. I hope we get to the bottom of what it was. I don't want to drag that out into next season, but they might. Okay. That would be interesting to see Shamia's mother talk about it too, in a confessional. If they don't bring it up the rest of the season. But okay. All right. So Porsha takes a look at this house. We get a tour of this house. I mean, I liked it. It's a $4.2 million home. The deal with Porsha and this house that she's currently in, the prenup says that she can stay in the house while they're divorcing. But eventually she's going to have to move out, but she's supposed to get like half of the equity if there's any equity in this house. But then part of me is sort of like, okay, I have to give Porsha credit. I'm going to start with the good. I'm going to give Porsha credit. Porsha's like, with this marriage, she went into the situation and she did a smart thing with the prenup. That's why Simon was trying to get the prenup thrown out, because the prenup really did end up protecting Porsha, unlike how when she divorced Cordell. And she wasn't protected. She was homeless and she didn't have anything. She got nothing out of that divorce. So she said this time around it's a little different because now she has PJ. So she said she was trying to be really smart with how she handled this. And I can appreciate that. You live, you learn. Okay. However, you didn't learn. The smoke and mirrors that is Simon Gobadi's finances and his life were there before you married this person. You said out of your own mouth that Simon he was like hemming and hawing about releasing his financials to you, which delayed your initial wedding. That already would have been the signs for me. And I already said this. I said that there was a lot of information out there about Simon already. There were a lot of bloggers that were reporting on Simon. And I said, you had all the information and you did everything to ignore it. And I really do believe that she ignored it. I think Porsha likes to live in her shell. She is a Cancer, likes to live in her shell, and she doesn't want to hear anything. That's why she blocked me, then unblocked me, then blocked me again. It's okay, Porsha. I don't care. I bring it up because I find it funny, but it also helps me make sense of your mindset. And I already know she blocks everyone. I know she was on, what was it, Breakfast Club, and did she block Charlamagne or something at some particular point? Like, it's fine. I'm still going to see the stuff. Porsha, I don't need to see you in your Thoughtlandia pictures. don't care. You know what I go to your page for? Oh, let me get a nice high quality photo to put on the thumbnail. Okay. But if you don't want me to have a good high quality photo of you for my thumbnails, that's fine. I'll put a really raggedy one. That's the only thing that I need from your Instagram. Okay. JB says that Porsha lives in denial, which is fine. But let's see how that works out for her. So far, I feel like it's going to work out for her. Because first of all, I don't think that Porsha can afford to pay the mortgage on the $7 million house. And we also don't know if there's what the finances are with this home, if there's even any equity in this home. We don't know. So I will give Porsha credit that she tried to do this better than she did the last divorce. But here we are. She's now looking for this new home. She sits down with her mother and sister to talk about trying to do better, to have a plan B. She talks about how much anxiety that she has right now. Understandably, because now you're divorcing this man, you are on social media and he's blasting you on social media. I'm surprised she didn't block him, but maybe she did block him. Because she probably didn't want to see all the stuff that he was saying. But regardless, you're going to have to block all the bloggers that you follow too. So she talked about that and how she wanted to handle this divorce differently than the last one. And they should say, no, she said this with Phaedra later on. She said in the after show, I believe, where you'll be there for the next, because Phaedra pointed out that, I've been here for both of your divorces. And you'll be there for the next one. Not the next one. Ooh, okay, girl. Philly Jones says she can't afford a $4.3 million either. And I know some of you are like, how y'all know what Porsha can afford? I don't. I'm going to tell you this. I don't know what Porsha can afford. But what I do know, based off of what we're seeing, she's not going to get a lot in this divorce. She's not getting millions of dollars in this divorce. I don't know how much equity is in that $7 million home, but based on the word on the street, I don't think there's a lot, if any. And yeah, she got maybe like $1 million plus for being on Real Housewives of Atlanta. But again, that's not enough to buy a $4.3 million home and the upkeep of a $4.2 million home. Mrs. Cree says she blocked me, but what did you do? What did you do, Miss Cree? I have a feeling that you said something in her comments, didn't you? I'm not in her comments. I never even followed her. What'd you do, Miss Cree? I want to know. What did you do, Miss Cree? Miss Cree says she blocked me too. Lord. And look, there's so many people that we talk about. Tamar, Nene, the new Shamia. None of those people blocked me. We talk about them all the time. They just don't look for me. Yes, Dawn, I heard that. Dawn said it's rumored that Porsha is dating the president of Nigeria. Isn't he married? Is he married, the president of Nigeria? Lord, that's a rumor. I don't know any truth to that. I don't have any solid sources confirming that. But again, nothing shocks me because remember, there have been rumors of her dating other allegedly married men, but fine. Bindley on TikTok says yes. Kayla says her type.
I am the fifth member. How about that?
All right. Shout out to everyone watching on Twitter. I see you guys. Hey, Twitter. Storm says, OMG, Porsha is a Cancer. Why don't I like the other cancers consistently? Why I don't like other cancers consistently? Damn. Yeah. Nathaniel watching on Twitter says they are rating this week's episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta a 3. Not impressed with the episode. Even with Phaedra returning. Ooh, yes, I'm back. You were asking for me? No one was asking for you. At least I wasn't. All right, move on. Let's move on. So we had the tour of the house. Fine. We only got the one tour. I do feel as if we were getting this tour because Porsha has nothing else this season. She doesn't have a storyline. So this is part of the narrative. I wouldn't be surprised if production gave her this idea. Why don't you go look at a property and we could talk about your divorce and what you're trying to do differently. I wouldn't be surprised that they were really trying to give her something. I'm never going to forget what Shamia, your own best friend, and I'm going to believe Shamia, your own best friend says that I want the real Porsha to show up. And you told her that they would have to pay me more for that. More than they're already paying you? They would have to pay you more for you to show up and show that this other side of yourself that we don't see. So what are we getting currently? All right. All right, then we get this little scene with Kelly getting her facial. I got a facial too. You might see it. I'm a little sore from my facial this weekend. So she's getting a facial and that raggedy dog. Sorry, Cha-Cha, you don't deserve that. You have no control over what your owner did to you. Poor Cha-Cha, but I bet Cha-Cha really enjoyed her little massage, because dogs love to be scratched and massaged. So I'm sure Cha-Cha loved it, but the poor masseuse was just like, oh, I think the lash may have fallen off. The lash may have fallen off. Wait, ooh, Grazi, thank you so much. You said you look good in black Kemper, and I love that picture of Janet Jackson in your profile picture. I love that video. Our friend said we're opposites. Sorry, I love that song and I love that video. So sorry. Damn, when I think about that, what's his name is in that video? The actor and the model. At the time, he was a model, and also Antonio Sabato Jr., who's now like a MAGA head. Just random thoughts. Sidebar. Sidebar. Okay. Leslie says free Cha-Cha. Hashtag free Cha-Cha. Here's the thing. Cha-Cha, if you saw the old pictures of Cha-Cha without all the hair dye, I don't care that it's vegan friendly, all the hair dye and things like that, then you would have said, like, she looked cute. And it's one thing to give your dog some personality. This doesn't look good. There's this guy there's a couple of them he's like a groomer, a dog groomer, and he'll do dyes on dogs, but he does such a good job. Maybe y'all should connect, because Cha-Cha needs a makeover. Cha-Cha needs a makeover ASAP. Because the way that she's made Cha-Cha look, she said the reason why she did that to Cha-Cha was to prevent people from stealing her because she was stolen before. Okay. Oh, hold on. Wait a second. Jason says, did anyone notice how Porsha said underneath her breath 2 million when talking to Shamia? I need to go back, Jason. I need to go back. Thank you guys so much for 500 likes for those that are watching us on YouTube. Shout out to everyone watching on Twitch, Twitter, and on Facebook. We appreciate you all being here. And our TikTok fam, we appreciate you guys. TikTok, keep tapping your screens. Let's get to 15,000 likes. We're talking about the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Don't forget, you can hear our live recaps on the Kempire podcast, along with hearing our Diddy trial updates on the podcast as well. While you're there, don't forget to give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Let's get back to our Real Housewives of Atlanta recap. That was such a short scene, but I had to mention that. I just feel bad for Cha-Cha. That little eyelash, he said he may have moved the eyelash. How do you know that eyelash is not going to fall in her eye? How do you know that eyelash is not going to drop on the floor and she's going to eat it? Like, stop doing that to the dog. The dog doesn't look better. The dog looks raggedy. I'm sorry, Cha-Cha. That's not your fault, Cha-Cha. That's your mama's fault. Free Cha-Cha. Hashtag free Cha-Cha. Power to the people. Okay. Let's move on. Shamia on V103. So I talked about this on Watch What Crappens as well, because I was like, I vaguely remember that Shamia was on V103 with Big Tigger and Miss Pat. And then remember they had the falling out. They were let go, Miss Pat and Shamia, and everyone blamed Big Tigger. So I was surprised to see her on V103, but that's the big station to be on when you're in Atlanta to promote something. So she's there to promote her song, Never Had, that song. And it leads to a conversation about Drew. And she's like, well, I've never heard a Drew song up here. Why? And look, some might say the reason why she's coming for Drew is because Drew called her a lapdog and Kelly told her what Drew said. They keep flashing back to that scene. Y'all need to just show us that scene where Kelly, Angela, and Drew were hanging out. Y'all keep flashing back to it. Y'all might as well show us that scene, because that scene had all the tea and all the things that are actually interesting, because you keep flashing back to it. So she continues to make shade towards towards Drew's singing career, which I find to be interesting. And she did that even before the comment of calling her a lapdog. She's been making like really passive aggressive comments about Drew's music career. And I find like that to be like, why? I can understand if Drew couldn't sing, if Drew didn't have a good project. Now she's changed her tune. In the after show, Shamia is just like, oh, she's, and she's got some good songs. I like her album, blah, blah, blah. You should use that time to promote that. And then she talked about in the V103 interview, Drew is such a liar. She's even in her song, she talks, I speak 5 different languages. She's like, what languages do you speak? She just lies all the time. And I remember when this came out, because remember when she did this interview, it was everywhere when she was taking shots at Drew. And yes, that is an easy thing to talk about in regards to Drew being a liar and things like that. Mr. Melon Magic says never had, never charted. Didn't it chart on iTunes? Did I make that up? Jermaine says Shamina. Look, that already tells you that Angela did what she was supposed to do in that moment during the Balmain event. The joke landed, okay? And all the little tomfoolery that Shamina has been doing is definitely reminding me all the little slick comments, including Flavor Flav, when it comes to Shamina. And it's definitely giving that energy, Shamina. It's giving that energy. It's just like, why are you constantly taking shots at her music? There's so many things that you could take shots at when it comes to Drew, but you decide to go after her music. It's giving pressed. It's giving jealous. And I don't understand why. You're working with the legendary RL from Next. Never Had is a decent song. And in all fairness, it's not my favorite song. I mean, it's the only song we've gotten from Shamina so far. However, I didn't love all of Drew's first singles that she put out either. But I like her new project. And I like her singles. That Delulu song, y'all know I'm coming out to that when I come to Atlanta. I'm like, I'm coming out to that song, one of them, okay? And I think Shamina has potential. But this constant hate, it's giving like, why are you so pressed? Are you jealous? Well, I don't understand why you're even jealous. You're working with a legend on your music. You just give it some time. I don't know. It's weird, Shamina. Why Shamina it rolls off my tongue a lot easier than Shamia. Okay, Shamina. So she talks about that. All right. And she talked about the whole 5 different languages. In the after show, she talked about it. And she's like, well, this is what it said. Drew was like, well, no, you have the lyrics wrong. Okay. And then she says, well, on iTunes, it says this. And she was like, well, they have it wrong. She was like, well, your team. Why are you, see, now you're reaching for an issue with Drew. And Drew was so right. The fact that you are mad at me on behalf of Porsha is lapdog behavior. She's right. She's 100% right. It's lapdog behavior. But fine. And then you start barking. Oh God, Shamia, I want better for you, girl. I want better for Shamina. I do. Because I think she could definitely be likable. Because I think she actually is a likable person. It's just not landing that way. All right. Raj, thank you so much for the super chat. Guys, keep liking. You can also support the channel just by liking the video. And if you're listening to the podcast version, you can also support the podcast by telling a friend and giving us a 5-star review. Raj, thank you for the super chat. Raj says, Porsha could have saved these low ratings by showing the viewers her Underground Railroad train and making it open to the public. Raj, come on now. I thought to myself, because they showed it again during the after show, the whole Underground Railroad thing. For us as a community, it was funny, but Porsha should be actually very ashamed. I'm just like, I would be so ashamed by that. But that's just me. I have integrity. Paula, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Paula says, just saying hello. Thank you, Paula. I appreciate that. Thank you for the support. Edward, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Edward says, I slept during the reunion of Freak and Fraud. OMG. Okay, Nicole says, thank you for the super chat, Nicole, and for being a member. Nicole says, Little Mermaid saved the sea. Frack sunk the RHOA ship. How mighty tides have turned. Frack is starting to look like Janice on the Muppets. Oh my gosh, you're right. I literally, when you said that, the Muppet actually came up. I was like, oh, wait a minute. They kind of do favor each other. Do I have a picture? Hold on. Please hold. Hold on. Now that you said that, now I'm like, wait a damn minute. Wait a damn minute. Hold on. I got to look up the other picture. Please hold. It's a live show. Hold on. See what you started, Nicole? Let me see. Janice. The Muppet. Hold on. Damn, she does look like her. She does look like it, y'all. All right, Janice. Oh, especially when she look up in the air. Oh, damn. Well, I already told you, Phaedra really is just a caricature of herself. Thank you so much, Nicole, for the super chat. You know, I had to look, because as soon as you said, I was like, oh, you know, it's definitely kind of given that. Raj, thank you so much for another super chat. Raj says, Miss Diane could heal the rift between Porsha and Shamia by throwing them a pepperoni pizza party. Honestly, Raj, when I first started reading this, I was like, well, you know what? She probably could heal the relationship between Shamia and Porsha, and then you had to go make a joke about it. I think she could, though. Zoe, thank you so much for the super chat. Zoe says, I'm so bored, Kempire. I'm just watching to support you, so I'm not lost. Brit is fake rich. They are classless and just make black people look bad. Well, Zoe, do you ever you ever connect with that guy from work? I'm talking back to our dating life. Just asking. Danielle, thank you so much for the super chat. Danielle says, at this point, where is Simon? Spice this up. That's who they should have brought in at the end of the season, right? That's who they should have brought in, Simon. Damn. Zoe, thank you so much for another super chat. Zoe says, they are classless. You don't wear heels to golf. The heel digs into the grass and damages. They are no members of that club. Club. More reason to be mindful. Literally, mind you, I'm not someone that golfs or goes to a golf club, a country club, and I know that. I think we all kind of know that, right? V, thank you so much for the super chat. V says, Kempire, I'm with you. I've tried to like her too, but it's hard. The argument with Drew did it for me. Girl, come on and be natural. In regards to Shamina. Thank you, V. Thank you for being a member as well. Breezy, thank you guys for all the super chats. We appreciate the support. Thank you. And on this Memorial Day, happy Memorial Day. Speaking of V, all right. And I know Memorial Day is to celebrate our fallen soldiers, but V is a current soldier. Okay. All right. So it's related. All right. Breezy, thank you so much for the super chat. Breezy says, I don't see, and thank you for being a member. I don't see it for Drew. She was calling others Delilah's spirit and saying maybe if Kenya spread her legs more, she'd still be married. Women like her think they are better because they are married, but their marriage is a disaster. We haven't forgotten, Breezy, but I'm glad that you pointed it out. We haven't forgotten that and the profit of it all. But you're right. You're right. That's why I say I can't ride with any of these folks. I have to say though, this season though, in comparison to everyone else on the cast and everyone coming for Drew, she's a lot more likable this season. And her fashion is on point this season. Live Well LA, thank you so much for the super chat. Live Well says, foreclosure rumors and Simon detained makes me wonder who is paying the mortgage and if there will be any equity remaining. Exactly my thoughts as well. The rumors about the foreclosure and the fact that Simon's being detained. Do I believe that Porsha's actually paying that mortgage? Can Porsha afford that mortgage? That might be why she went to go look at some new homes. Because that's probably the anxiety that she's talking about. It's not about him. Nicole, thank you for another super chat. Nicole says, check your patterns in friendships. Self-reflection. Pouring more love and loyalty into empty cups will have your soul drained. Pour it into you. That's a word, Nicole. That is definitely a word. Future MD, thank you so much for the super chat. Future MD says, happy belated birthday, Kempire. Thank you. Who invites people to a party and only provides food for some and not others? The Caribbean in me could never. Oh, we're going to talk about Britt Edie's party. That was so embarrassing for her. But it wouldn't be a new housewife situation if you didn't have an embarrassing hosting moment. It just is so embarrassing for her because I just feel like she's so lackluster. Robert, thank you so much for the super chat. Robert says, I will gladly be fast forwarding all of Phaedra's scenes. Maybe I need to change the poll. I need to see, but our community might be a little biased towards Phaedra. Based off the poll right now, though, in regards to how you'd rate this week's episode, 59%. Damn. 59% of you guys rate this week's episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta between a 4 and a 6. 22% of you rate it between a 7 and a 10. That's huge. Wow. And 19% of you rate it between a 1 and a 3. Keep voting. Oh, no, I'm going to end it. I'm going to keep voting, though, y'all. Let's get to 1,500 likes, and then 1,500 votes, and then I will end it. Because then I want to ask how you guys feel about Phaedra's. I want to do a poll and ask how you guys feel about Phaedra's return. Thank you, Robert. Stanielle, thank you so much for the super chat. Stanielle says, she got Cha-Cha looking like Mimi from Drew Carey's show. Oh my God, that poor dog. Kelly. Keith, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Shout out to all our members. We appreciate you guys. Cha-Cha looks like a mess. I'm going to need Kelly to have her own thoughts. I didn't like how she kept mimicking Shamia's every word in the after show. Yeah. It's definitely giving follower. Keith, thank you so much for another super chat. Keith says, I'm tired of them sunning Drew. And I think that's what it is. I think everyone is supporting Drew because they feel like she's getting unnecessary hate from the group. And the only person that's really been supporting her is Angela. Mrs. Creaky says she's jealous that Dennis chose Drew over her. Oh my gosh. In regards to the music, she's talking about Shamina. So she's jealous that Dennis gave her a record deal, and no, she shouldn't be. You're working with RL. Come on. She shouldn't be jealous. Oh my gosh. Eavesdropper, thank you so much. And mind you, she wouldn't want to work with Dennis because she already knows how Porsha would feel. Eavesdropper, thank you for the super chat. Eavesdropper says, this episode made me want some boiled eggs. Yes. In regards to Phaedra. All right. Gracie, thank you so much for the super chat. Gracie says, Shamina said that she's better singer and actress than Drew. Did she say that? When did she say that? In the after show? Did she say that? Shamina, you're a better actress and singer than Drew, but you've been trying to do music and acting for how long? And we can't mention one notable thing you've done in either sector of entertainment. Come on. I know Drew likes to act like she's this big A-list actress, but we have notable things to say that what Drew has been in. I don't know if she did say that, but Gracie's starting trouble per usual. Gracie, I'm playing. Brady, thank you so much for being a member for the super chat. Brady says Kelly dresses like a Las Vegas showgirl sometimes. Sometimes, most of the time, Brandy. Most of the time. Orange, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. I don't watch the show anymore, just your reviews, but I'm looking forward to seeing you for the third time, flying per usual from the Motor City. Thanks. Shout out to Orange Sorbet. So for all of you keep saying, come to Chicago. Chicago don't want me. Well, the venues don't. Y'all do. So come to New York. Come to Philadelphia. Philadelphia's the first show. Come to Atlanta, okay? Or come to New York, okay? Or come to DC. Those shows, all the show information for Kempire After Dark, The Villain Era, is available in the description. All right? All the way from the Motor City. Thank you so much, Orange Sorbet. Mr. Mellon Badging, thank you for the super chat. Mr. Mellon says, Brokey Brit and Gutta Butt Kelly can leave. Go away. I'm okay with Kelly staying. I think Kelly will show us. I think there's some more for us to see from Kelly. I don't want to see Kelly go. I definitely see potential in Kelly. Doesn't mean that Kelly doesn't annoy me sometimes. But I don't see potential with Brit. Sean, thank you so much for the super chat. Sean says, they are saying that Drew tried to still shoot with Kenya. Andy was furious that is why Drew has not been on Watch What Happens Live, not one appearance this season on Watch What Happens Live, and she's a vet compared to the cast. I heard that rumor. I don't believe that. Drew knows better than to try and film with Kenya. I mean, how are you going to film with Kenya without production knowing and Kenya showing up? I don't believe that, and I don't believe that that's why she's not been on Watch What Happens Live. I already told you what I'm speculating. Jade, thank you so much for the super chat. Jade says the life Shamia shows on YouTube and just her rep here in Atlanta. Shamia is not pressed or jealous in real life. For what? I don't understand what you're saying. The live shows on YouTube and just her rep here in Atlanta. Shamia is not pressed or jealous. You couldn't tell. I'm talking about facts of what we're seeing on the show. She seems pressed and jealous about Drew. I don't care what she's showing on YouTube or what she's showing in Atlanta. It's giving pressed on Real Housewives of Atlanta. That's what it's giving, Jade. But thank you for the super chat. I'm not just making this up. I'm basing this off of what Shamia has shown us since episode 1. We're on episode 12. It's giving jealous. It's giving pressed. It's giving delusional. It's giving mean girl. It's giving Shamina. Okay? That's what it's giving. Just saying. Keisha, thank you so much for the super chat. Keisha says, I just watched the TLC movie yesterday and Drew was starring it. And Shamia has 4 lines in one scene with Drew. I like Shamina, but she's annoying. Scarlett, thank you so much for the super chat. Scarlett says, to have all that money and be corny is tragic, Shamina. Yeah, money, like, what did Countess Luann says, money can buy you class. Sharon, thank you so much for being a member and for the super chat. Sharon says, who throws an event and only feeds some attendees? Apparently Britt. That we're gonna get to that, guys. Let me. I was reading all the super chats, and I appreciate all the super chats and all the love, but I gotta get through this damn episode that you guys are rating between a 4 and a 6. 59% of y'all. Okay. All right. So Britt and her husband. Okay, let's talk about this. Britt and her husband, I completely forgot about the scene. So as I mentioned to you guys before, I'm on Watch What Crappens podcast today. Part 1 of our conversation is up. And Ronnie brought up this scene. And I was like, I don't remember this scene. But I watch it twice normally. And I watched it again this morning before today's live. And I said, oh, I completely forgot about the scene with Britt and her lavender husband. Sorry, I'm kidding. I completely forgot about this scene because it's very short. It's very brief, but there were some things to point out. So she's talking about launching this new business, Bare Naked. She says when she launched her insurance company, she also wanted to launch this Bare Naked company. And I'm like, and then she also mentions that her insurance license is on hold. I'm not understanding. Britt, again, this is the Real Housewives of Liars this season. It's the Real Housewives of Liars this season. I'm not understanding. First, your license was being investigated. Now your license was on hold? Your license was on hold? I don't believe her. I believe she's saying that to secure her position on the show. Y'all all know that one coworker. Where's Pageant Mommy? Because I'm sure you've had people come into your office trying to play the human resources game, put out certain key words in order to protect themselves and protect their jobs. So I'm sort of like, I believe Shamia. Damn. Britt. I always forget Britt's name. I feel like she put that out there to secure her position on the show. Like, oh, my license is in jeopardy because of what Kenya did. I'm going to sue you guys. I'm not saying that this is fact, but this is the feeling that I'm getting. Okay. Purple Yellow says Britt has nothing to talk about. So those are the only things that stood out to me in that particular scene with her husband. Okay. Jermaine says her license is suspended. Pageant Mommy says, yep. So I don't know what it is. She says in this moment that her license is on hold. I don't know what that means, but fine, girl. So she always wanted to do this Bare Naked line, even when she launched her insurance company. What is she doing for work now? Because remember, she sold her insurance company. She told us that at the top of the season. So, okay, fine. Like I'm just calling out what is being said on the show. Context, maybe it will explain it. Angela goes to another one of her properties. Look, Angela's no stupid, she's not stupid because, yeah, she's having a problem selling these properties and she's $2 million in debt. And I told you, all it takes is for her to sell a couple of these properties and she'll no longer be in debt. However, I think she's also smart by showing these properties. Remember, we've had multiple scenes at different properties. This is smart. She's featuring this show on a show that I know right now they're not getting the millions of viewers. Eventually, though, they're getting viewers. This is potential clients. It's actually pretty damn smart. So Angela and Charles goes to one of her properties, and some of y'all were so pressed last week. Not in the comments here. Maybe I read a couple of comments after the live and then I'm done. However, on Twitter last week, I had said I don't like how Charles handled that conversation last week with Angela. I said he needs to show up a little bit. He needs to show her love a little bit because she's always, uplifting him. And I don't feel like he's ever doing that for her. And I get it. Some of y'all are so used to, yes, these grumpy old men, these toxic relationships, your cousin's uncle or whatever, cheating on your aunt. Some of y'all are used to that. Fine. We've given him a lot of grace here. For those that might be Johnny come latelys, we've given him a lot of grace. I said, oh, he's kind of like the Todd father. However, I said, that's all well and good, but episode 12, I've yet to see him love on Angela the way that he uplifts her. And I'll be damned if that would be any relationship that I would want or uplift. I don't like it. And I can say that. If you don't like it, you can go somewhere. You can go somewhere. But anyway. So, anyway, I say all that to say, okay? Let me take a sip. Ooh, almost dropped my thing. Let me take a sip. I've been ranting and raving. Exactly. Sarah says the way that Charles acts with Angela makes me itchy. And then, look, some of us can argue and say maybe he's that way because it's on camera. He's uncomfortable on camera. Okay, that's all well and good. But every once in a while, I need a moment of love. At least with the Todd father, we saw moments of love. All right, he didn't buy that $4 million necklace, but he was pretending like he was. We didn't get that from Charles. But anyway, so they go to look at this property. This property is fine. Is it cleaned up the way that Angela wants it? I think they were just trying to have this scene. I think Angela just wanted to show this property on this show to get it sold. She's talking about being $2 million in debt. Fine. Smart. There was nothing wrong with this property. The property needed proper shades on the windows, needed to clean up the backyard. Structurally, it looked fine. This was on the lower end of the properties. Remember last week we got to see like the $3 million property. This property, she was trying to sell it for like $500,000, but she's had to bring it back down to what she actually paid for it. So she's probably going to get a loss on that. But if you're in real estate, these things happen. Like, I'm not worried for Angela. I think this is the narrative that Angela wants to spin. This is my story. I have all these properties. I'm in debt. But Angela also has an awkward way of bringing up, like, you could tell she's forcing a conversation about something because she wants to talk about it in this scene. And she talks about the issues between Charles and her mom. And she apologizes. Oh, God. She apologizes to Charles. And she said the reason why she's apologizing to him is because she's always on his butt about, did you say hello to my mother? Did you guys talk? And I didn't like that because I was just like, yeah, I don't think you need to apologize to him, especially because it doesn't seem like it's a big issue for him. He's not bringing it up. Okay? Exactly. Jill, come on. Jill says, Charles is an NBA superstar. He's very used to the cameras. He's just a jerk to his wife. The end. I don't know if but again, yes, he's an NBA star. He's used to cameras, but he's not used to reality television and how that's filmed. Like, it was at one particular point, he looked at the camera in this episode. So I do think there's a little awkwardness when it comes to filming reality television, but it doesn't take a lot when you truly love and adore someone to be a little affectionate. We did get a little bit of a hug, but she had to ask for that hug. But she apologizes to him for the way that she's been on his butt about how he treats the mother. It didn't land for me. It didn't land for me in regards to what is the issue. They don't talk. They're still not talking. Why are we still talking about this? Are we going to have a one-on-one between the mom and Charles? Are they going to put their beef to the side this season? We know last week we found out that Angela's mother passed away. But I wonder, did they put their beef to the side? I wonder if they ended up filming together this season. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Kira says Angela's body is T. Ain't it? Not an extra large like Britt was trying to. Even if it was an extra large, her body is bodying. Okay, Angela. Look, wait. Let me bring up the photo. Come on now. Let me bring up the photo. Please hold. Come on, Angela. Body yaddy yaddy. Come on, body yaddy 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 yaddy. Come on, Angela. But I've been saying that, and I'm the gay man. Okay, I'm like, look at Angela's body. Okay. All right. So Angela, you could get another if it doesn't work out with you. I'm sorry. Like, I don't wish that for her, but at the same time, I also wish for her to have someone that's going to love on her. As a Taurus, I guess we talk astrological signs here. We don't need people always glorifying us. And we do usually have this sort of like little, not bickering, but sort of like back and forth with our partners, with our friends, where they're sort of like, oh, always on us. But every once in a while, we need people to be like, you know what? You're actually an amazing person. You're an amazing wife. We need that. We're not going to ask for it, though. I'm telling you right now, we're not going to ask for it. So Charles, Angela, I know you watch, girl. Hey, clip this. Charles, and show this to Charles. Charles Oakley, I'm going to need you at least on camera. I'm sure maybe in real life you do this for Angela, but on camera, I'm going to need you to hold her hand. And as a Taurus, we like affection. We do like affection. We do like, we're a little touchy, okay? And if we know you. You know what I mean? So I'm Charles, we're going to need a little bit more next season. Angela will be back next season. Trust him, unless she doesn't want to be. All right. Let me get through this because I'm dragging this. So we see the property. They had that conversation. Angela, I hope you sell these properties. I hope by the reunion, 4 of those properties are already sold. Wishing you the best. Okay. All right. Let's talk about this Brit's bare naked event that she threw at the country club. And the producer says, how does the country club coincide with a bare naked event? I don't know. It's something that is, classy and oh please, Britt. Lord, mind you, literally the women are starting to arrive and Britt's event is still not put together. They're still putting up the step and repeat. Like, the things are just not put together. All right. And so, but Shamia and Kelly arrive. I would say early, but it looks like they arrived on time. I don't know. And they're still putting things together. She's like, what do you guys think of my event? They're still putting things together. Let's go golfing in our heels. So they go golfing in their heels. Britt can barely move in her dress. They're trying to golf. Porsha arrives. Porsha sits down with one of Britt's friends. She's like, so what is this for? Do we know? The friend is just like, well, I did see naked in the title. Maybe it's for makeup. And Portia's like, oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. Production asked her about the whole bare naked title being very similar to Go Naked. She's like, y'all better put some respect to my name. My business has been around for 10 years. Ladies, this is a question that I had. Again, I was recently on Watch What Crappens podcast. If you missed it, part 1 of our Real Housewives of Atlanta recap is out. And I said this, I was like, I can't really speak for the hair because I don't have any. However, I want to know from the ladies, are you guys buying bare naked hair? I don't really hear people talk about, again, we don't talk hair like that here on the channel, but I need to know from you guys, are you guys buying bare naked hair? Lord, oh, Lord. Go naked hair? Based on what I saw from Drew and what I see from Porsha, the hair looks nice, okay? Judy says, I bought her sheets. Judy, how are the sheets? Miss Hart on TikTok says, nope. Rona said, nope. Kiki on TikTok says, nope. Okay. Oh, damn. Okay. Penguins Party said no. Donna Long says no. Lexi says no. I will say, I don't really hear people talking about buying Go Naked hair or the sheets, except Judy. Judy said she bought the sheets. But based on what I've seen of the hair looks nice. It doesn't look cheap. It doesn't look like Dr. Heavenly's wigs from the place. Cameron says, I heard the hair is too expensive. Well, no, that means it's good quality, right? So a lot of y'all said no. Angel says, nope, not interested. She says the business, but the business has been around for 10 years. All right. Oh, okay, here we go. Charlie says, I've bought her hair in sheets. It's very nice. Porsha, is that you in in your burner? L. Singleton says, where is the hair sold? I'm guessing on her website. All right, let me go look. All right, this is a live show. Let me go look. And while I'm looking, I'm going to actually post a call-in link for our members first before I forget, because y'all know. Keep liking the video. I will drop the call-in link for the general audience. But if the likes aren't matching the amount of people that are here, almost 3,000 of you, then I will not be dropping the call-in link till we get to that particular amount of likes. Mods, let me know how many likes we should get to. Shout out to our King's Guards, guys. Be sure to say thank you to them as well for holding us down for our Real Housewives of Atlanta recap. Okay, and don't forget the Kempire After Dark, the villain era, is coming to Philadelphia July 10th, then Atlanta on August 5th, then Washington, D.C. on August 22nd, and then back here in New York City on September 12th. Ticket information will be available in the description. Philly, you're first up. Let's get those tickets sold, Philly, or I'm not coming back after this one. Bloop. Just saying. All right, let me drop the call-in link for our members here. All right, here we go. Shout out to everyone watching on Twitch and Twitter as well. We see you guys. All right. So if you are a Royal Court member and a Senior Royal, I've dropped the call link for you guys already. If you are a Team Kempire member, I will drop the call link for you guys in a second. It's not a part of your membership, but there are all kinds of really great perks to being a member here on the Kempire channel here on YouTube. All right. So let me go look for the Porsha's. Hold on. Porsha Go Naked Hair. Okay, here we go. Let me see. I'm on her website. Okay. Looks legit. Let's see what the bundle deals. Let's see what the bundle deals. Okay, bundles. Why I gotta give you my email? No, I don't give you my email. Tell me what the bundles are doing. Okay, bundles. They don't look that pricey. Brazilian straight human hair bundles, $52. Raw exclusive straight human hair bundles, $80. Blonde Brazilian, it looks pink, not blonde, but okay. Blonde Brazilian body wave human hair bundles, $84. I don't even know if that's expensive or not. Can y'all tell me? Is that expensive? And then I see some of the Go Naked customers on here giving her 5 stars. Okay. Okay. Bundles. All right, let me see. Let me look at the lace front wigs. Let's see. I don't even know anything about the transparent closures. What's that? Look, what's that? These seem okay. They seem inexpensive, y'all. Let me see these wigs. Look, a bob wig. Let's see what the bob wigs are. Not bad. $150 for a bob. $160 for the blonde bob. Let me bring these pictures up. You know, we're journalists. We're sharing you the real. Okay. Okay, for the bob wig. Let me see what the other wigs are giving. Let me see the headband wig. What's a headband wig? These are not bad price. I don't think they're bad prices. Okay, hold on. Let me bring this up too. These aren't bad prices. Look, I never bought a wig. I know, gay man. No, look, never bought a wig.
How you doing?
Let me show you guys. Okay. Let me show you. Alberto, you obviously have not been listening to the channel religiously. We were the first to drop that in London. Boop. Right, London folks? All right, let me bring this up. Let me bring these photos up. Hold on, please hold. Let's see. Okay, these aren't bad prices. Body wave human hair headband wig, $99. Ocean wave human hair headband wig, $109. Is that too expensive? Y'all know I don't know nothing about the wigs. Is that expensive? Here's a bob wig. Those bob wigs are a little shaky though. I don't like those pictures, but don't get me a bob. I should order me a wig. Are these prices expensive? So the straight transparent lace front frontal human hair bob wig, which has decent ratings based on what I'm saying, $149. The blonde straight lace front human hair wig. Why is the blonde more expensive? $160. Why is the blonde hair more expensive? Can y'all tell me? Is that expensive? Live chat? I don't know. Okay. Just asking. Ashley says no. See? They're saying no, it's not expensive. Okay. Well, I guess replay crew, be sure to let me know. Let me know if you checked out these wigs and things like that. Me personally, I have never met anyone. If you're coming to the Atlanta show, wear one of the Go Naked hair wigs. Okay? Thank you. All right. All right. Oh, see, Divine says, I was upset for the country club. Those ladies digging holes in the green and messing it up. You know, they probably sent her a bill or something later once they saw that. Or they will be. All right, let's get back to this. Let me get back to this event, as Tisha from Love and Marriage pronounces it. All right, so they talked about that. Britt says she didn't plan to serve food for all the guests. So she's talking to the planners. She said, I didn't plan to serve food for all the guests. It was supposed to be just cocktails. But here's the bad part about this. Britt, what you should have done, which was what we've seen in other Housewives events, okay? What you should have done was have a separate dinner for the women and then have just a cocktail hour for everyone. That's what you should have done. So she said that she didn't plan to serve food. They ended up putting food, the plates, settings for everyone. So everyone's there just sort of like looking on their phone while Britt is ready to bring out food and everything for everyone else. Like, that is just weird. But she even knew that. She knew that was weird. If anything, Britt, you should have been like, let's just do a cocktail hour and then serve the food afterwards. It was so awkward. Everyone's there looking around like, what is... And then she only had the gifts for the women at the table. And then she made that announcement saying, oh, I got a gift for my special ladies. I guess everyone else that you invited weren't special. Again, what you should have did is have a cocktail hour with the group to announce your thing, and maybe had a few models showing off the shapewear, or maybe the shapewear on model things. But again, this happens with a lot of housewives when they throw their first event or their third or fourth. Okay, right, Kenya? These things happen. However, I was like, girl, like, this is just so tacky. You're already not having the best season. This was just really sort of like the cherry on top. Wow. Oh, that's true too. Being loud during playing golf, because they were being loud during that as well. Shamia and Kelly and Britt. Yeah, while people were trying. Rahina says, don't help her, Kempire. It's too late now. It's too late. But that's how she should have done it. Delara says, you need to feed everyone. Tacky. And Porsha said that too. She's just like, Atlanta's funny. You do something like this and you don't feed people, then people are going to talk about you. And I'm sure they did. I'm surprised we never heard about it. I know they all signed NDAs, but y'all could have spoke to me on the low. She didn't serve us food. Okay. Again, if you're not going to serve food for everyone, I wouldn't have served, or again, I would have did the cocktail party and then had a separate dinner or a separate scene with the ladies. That was weird. Noda Queen says they were screeching and everything. I know. It was awkward. Well, let's talk about what they were talking about, because we still have a lot more to go. So a few things come up. Again, this was Angela producing, because randomly she brings up, and Charles doesn't have a side baby. And everyone, even Drew was like, what? Wait, how did we get here? Whatever. So Britt has a conversation with Angela and Charles, and I don't remember Angela ever saying that Britt was one of Charles's whores. I don't remember that. I remember her calling Britt a whore, but I don't remember her saying that she was one. He was like, I don't know whores. Oh. Hey, Charles. He's like, I don't deal with whores. Kelly then says that Drew and Britt, because I guess Britt and Drew have a little bit of an issue. And she's like, Kelly chimes in. She's like, well, when you guys have the conversation, let's just make sure that you're being honest. That's what I want to say to Kelly. Let's make sure we're being honest about those finances. Just asking. Feeling interesting. Pageant mommy says that was awkward. Sick of her saying Charles. Take a drink every time that Angela brings up Charles's name. But it was so awkward because it was so random that she just brought it up, which led to Drew and Britt's conversation. So they're gonna have a side conversation. Then it turns into Shamia and Drew and their issues. Shamia said she wants to know how she caught a stray and was called a lap dog. And Drew explains to her, she's like, well, you ran and twisted something that I said about PJ's college fund. And again, I'm going to point out, I felt like it was weird. Literally, Shamia did bring this information to Porsha, and Porsha was upset about it. Again, she automatically believed Angela. Angela's like, well, that's not the way that Drew said it. Well, this is the moment for Porsha to step in and be like, well, this is what was said. This is how it made me feel. I didn't appreciate it. This was your opportunity to have Shamia's back, but you didn't. And Shamia is there fighting for her life, and all of a sudden starts barking. Oh, did you guys notice that when they came back from that scene when Shamia starts barking? Shamia, oh God, girl, like I want better for you. Shamia starts barking and she's like, roof, roof. She's like, roof, roof, kiss my mother effing A, B. Roof, roof. I was like, girl, like this is so weird. This is so weird. And then in the after show, she's like, you know what? If I'm gonna be a lap dog, I want to be like Cha-Cha. Shamia, girl, we want better for you, girl. But you notice when they came back from that scene when Shamia was barking to herself and just awkward. If I was her friend, if Porsha was her real friend, and Porsha has done reality television for a long time, I would have touched my friend on her lap, like, stop, don't. Like, I would have been like, stop, don't do that. Even though we're mic'd, mind you, I'm not going to say it. I'm just going to tap your legs. Stop it. Like, stop. But no, that's not your friend. That's not your friend. Drew, when they come back to that scene, Drew was just like, I am not a dog whisperer. Yes, Drew. She's like, I am not a dog whisperer. Okay. All right, so we had that awkward event that Britt hosted. Britt, once it starts getting really heated between Shamia and Drew, she says, like, guys, this is a classy establishment where I'm serving only you guys, but not my other guests, and I'm doing it in front of them. I'm gifting you all my shapewear, and I'm giving an extra large to Angela, even though she's not a extra large. This is a classy establishment. If you have an issue, you can take it outside because this is a classy establishment. Okay? Girl. All right, fine. Look, fine. Yeah. She said she's not a dog whisperer. Anyway. All right, speaking of Drew. So Drew's separate scene, she films her signing her record deal at her lawyer's office, I'm assuming. She had her road manager there. I'm like, okay, are we going on tour? Why is your road manager? Is this your manager? But they labeled him the road manager? I don't know. So the road manager is there. Her entertainment lawyer is there. But before they do the signing of the album deal, whatever, her record deal. Here's the thing, Drew. How many albums did you sign with Dennis? I hope it was only one. Not to say that you shouldn't, but I hope it was only one, not like a 10-album deal. Just making sure. Anyway, so she said before they had that conversation, she wants to talk with Dennis about what Porsha has been saying about her and her trying to, booty for the beats kind of thing. Here's the thing. I don't think Dennis is innocent. I think Dennis has been a part of spreading this narrative or not squashing this narrative with Porsha and not putting his foot down. Like, stop saying these things that I never said. I think he's okay with that. I think he's messy. And I honestly, me personally, Drew, I would not want to do business with a messy man like Dennis. Because if you're messy like this, says to me that you'll be messy in business. That's not professional. Like, if you want people to take you seriously as a businessman and the next Quincy Jones, I'm not going to get involved in that. And you saw him on the FaceTime. It was like, no, you're not concretely saying that's not true. She shouldn't be saying that. I will speak with her. I will let her know, point blank period, that she should not be saying these things. I think he's shady. I think he's as shady as Ralph. I think any press for him is good press. And I don't like that. I don't like that for Drew. But Drew's a little shady too. So then there's that. RC says, I think Dennis loves it. I know Dennis loves it. Dennis is messy. Archie says Dennis is all for the shenanigans. Again, I wouldn't want to do business with someone like that, but that's me. That's me. Also, and the thing is with that too, never get in business with someone that wants to be a star when it's their job to be behind the scenes and make you the star, because you will never be the star because they're too busy trying to be the star. Hence her husband, Ralph, and now Dennis. Exactly. The Girls Club says that Dennis is the common messy denominator, in my opinion. Okay. So they have that conversation, and he talks about like, yeah, studio time is not free, and you know, this is strictly business and blah blah blah. And Drew says, yeah, you're like my bro, and blah blah blah. Okay. So they put a squash on that. Then they do the business, and she signs her record deal, I think. I don't know what she was signing, and she probably doesn't either. I feel like in that scene, and again, maybe they filmed it and they just didn't show it. I feel like this would have been an opportunity for us to know, what is this deal? Is it a 10-album deal? Is it what exactly is this? What does this actually mean? But we get it. Drew has been trying to pursue music for a very long time, according to her. She talked about this on the after show. She talked about being signed to Slip and Slide. She's talked about working with Vincent Herbert, you know, married to Tamar Braxton, was behind Tamar's very successful Love and War album project, worked and managed Lady Gaga. She also talked about working with Kenny Babyface Edmonds and his Edmonds Entertainment music group. So this is a big dream for her. Happy for her. Great project. She also revealed that the album is doing well, that it moved up on the iTunes chart. Fine. They're also talking to bigger major labels in order to push out her music. That's all well and good. I think at this particular point in 2025, you don't need a major label, but I get it. She's used to she's from that mindset of like, you got to be a part of a bigger label in order to do this or that. Fine. If that's what you want to do, if that's the business the way you want to do it, fine. I don't want to hear about later, like, oh, they stole my money, I didn't get paid, but whatever. I just feel like in this day and age, you don't need a major label. You already have a huge platform on Real Housewives of Atlanta. That's why your album is doing well, because of the platform that you're on, along with it being good. I did a whole video talking about how good it is. But again, we'll see. Shay says a scheme set up by Tommy. All right, guys, we're almost at 1,000 likes. We already have a few members that are backstage. If you are a Team Kempire member, I've dropped a call and link for you guys as well. Don't forget to like the video. It's an easy and free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. Don't forget, you can also hear the podcast version of our live recap and special episodes and our Diddy updates. Our Diddy updates will continue tomorrow for the Sean Diddy Combs trial. And if you missed it, this is your opportunity this long weekend to get caught up on everything that you missed over the last couple of weeks. We're going into week 3 of the Diddy trial, so be sure to check that out. Okay, so she signs her record deal, and then we have our final scene. So before we get to our final scene, where we finally get to see Phaedra return. Phaedra is back. All right. All right. Before we get to that, let me say thank you, because we had quite a few super chats. And guys, I appreciate the super chats, but I also appreciate the likes. So keep liking the video and keep tapping your screens, TikTok. We appreciate you all being here. Happy Memorial Day. Happy Memorial Day. Kat, thank you so much for the super chat. Kat says, walked into the live late, but Lord, this episode was a whole drag. This is about to be far more entertaining. P.S. Get rid of Brit. Bravo. Thank you, Kat. Oh, damn. So even Phaedra's return did not get you guys excited? We'll talk. Love Calm Peace. Thank you so much for the super chat. Love Calm Peace says, Drew doesn't have RHOA in her bio on IG. I think she's done. I don't recall if she had it before. If anyone can confirm, but who predicted it? Gary, thank you so much for the super chat. Gary says, I've been wondering why there have been a couple of specific YouTubers hyping RHOA so hard this season. Then I noticed them in the background of Brit's event. Hashtag no names though. Love you, Kemp. Gary, you're so messy. Messy, messy, messy boots. Zoe, thank you for another super chat. Zoe says he made it to the WhatsApp. Oh, this is a sidebar. Zoe called in several weeks ago for one of our dating lives, and she was telling us about a coworker that she likes and she was flirting with, and we wanted an update. So she says he made it to the WhatsApp, but it's winter here, so I can't get too excited. He might be looking for a winter cuddle buddy. I will stay positive though. Come on, Zoe, stop getting in your own way. You were doing that the night you called in. Stop getting in your own way. He might want a winter cuddle buddy. Not a winter cuddle buddy. How cold does it get in South Africa? Myra, thank you so much for the super chat. Myra says, can we get rid of Brit? Because her event was terrible. I hope her guests dispute the charges and get their money back. What did they spend? Because I would have called my bank quick. Wait, did they spend money to be there? I would hope not. Not dispute the charges. Myra, thank you for being a member. Elizabeth R.N., thank you for being a member for the super chat. Elizabeth says, I bet Angela's only purpose of being on the show is to sell those houses and Kiki. Right? She doesn't need the money. I mean, technically she does to pay off those things, but she's with a rich man already, so. And she has her own business, so. Thank you for another super chat. Elizabeth says, Angela with them low-rise jeans and crop top. Fire. Yeah, mama's body is tea. Body is tea. Sage, thank you so much for being a member for the super chat. Sage says the event was a mess from beginning to end, child. It was. But in all fairness, this happens with a lot of newbies. This happens with people that are well-established on Real Housewives. So I'm giving her grace, but it was definitely tacky. It was tacky. Edward, thank you so much for the super chat. Edward says, I don't know which was worse, season 14 birthday party from Sonya or Brit with the country club party for this season. Oh, wait, I got to think about season 14's birthday party. No, I think this country club party was worse, right? What do you guys think? I got to think about that. Edward, you bring up a valid point. Ryder, thank you so much for the super chat. Ryder says, did the producers forget that Brit is really there? Like, even in the after show, it's like she doesn't really know how to vibe with everyone. I just don't think she has the depth. And again, I think the only reason why she got her peach was because of the stuff with Kenya. Rahina, thank you so much for the super chat. Oh, let me shimmy, Rahina. Let me shimmy for the $20 motorboat. Okay, Rahina says, Brit's event was tacky. She only fed her castmates. Anyway, not surprised. Kempire, you know I'm coming to your show. Can't wait. I'm bringing my bestie too. Yay! All right, she's coming to the New York City show. Don't forget, guys, ticket information for our Philly date. Philly, John, are you coming? Philly, make sure you guys come. Get your tickets. Atlanta, Washington, D.C., and New York. Sage, thank you so much for the super chat. Sage says, I'm sorry, the event really solidified for me that Brit is not Housewives material. Damn. Yeah. Like, if this was an event that Kelly threw or Angela threw, I would probably give them grace. Especially because Kelly has thrown so many events. And her events haven't been perfect either. But, yeah, I just feel like it's everything. Rahina, thank you so much for another super chat. Rahina says, a classy event without class. How dreadful. Oh, Lord. You guys are a mess. Okay. For those that ask me for when I'm coming to Miami, I can't promise you that anytime soon. So you might want to book a ticket to Atlanta or DC or New York. Just saying. Can't promise you. All right. Angel says, Brit launching a fashion line with no fashion, our food that is beyond with no food is beyond a mistake. She knows that she's been studying the housewife. You're right. I just feel like at this particular point, like, come on. All right. Kara says, this season is so disappointing. So many bad choices were made. It's giving sabotage. Damn. Not sabotage. All right. let's talk about this final scene. So the final scene, I was really surprised. I thought that maybe Phaedra would be introduced at least midway through the episode, but I guess based off of Phaedra starting to film at the end of this season, 2 weeks before the season ended, made sense that she was at the last part of this episode. So Porsha goes over to Phaedra's home that she's never been before, even though they claim that they've seen each other here and there. I have not seen these two women together since Phaedra left Real Housewives of Atlanta. Maybe, if anything, I'll give them probably once. I have not seen these two women together since the whole Candy situation of it all. So at the top of this, Phaedra talks about leaving the way that she did. All right, now let me read my notes exactly how I have it. So Phaedra says that the last time that we saw her, it wasn't her best moment. And they flash back to that reunion with Candy where she accused Candy of being someone that would being a Diddy. Okay, basically, of being a Diddy, of what Diddy's being accused of, allegedly. All right. So Phaedra says that everything was good until she played with fire. She says that she regrets how she left the group, but she says he without fault cast the first stone. This is my problem with Phaedra. This is my problem. I'm okay with Phaedra returning if Phaedra had apologized. Because y'all are okay with Porsha returning, and I don't feel like Porsha was innocent in that situation. Everyone was like, oh, Porsha, you believed her and you ran with that narrative instead of going to Candy and saying, well, this is what people are saying. You ran with that narrative. So you're not innocent, but people forgave you because you apologized to Candy. Because a lot of people are like, how's Candy hanging out with her? Because she apologized to Candy. Phaedra never apologized to Candy. And as you've seen, anytime it's been brought up, she makes excuses for what she did. Like, she's never taken accountability. My thing as an employer, I'm like, well, Phaedra, if you're going to come back, we need you to genuinely say that you're sorry for what you did. She has never apologized or shown true remorse. Because even in this particular moment, she says that she regrets how she left the group. She regrets how she left the group. But he without fault cast the first stone. Ooh. Girl. I did see on Watch What Happens Live, Andy did ask her, do you and Candy see each other? And she's like, yeah, we've seen each other. Have you guys spoken? No, we haven't spoken. She's never shown any accountability for what happened there. But she regrets how she left the group. Sidebar. For all you people like, oh, Phaedra's queen of Atlanta, blah, 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 blah. She was lackluster on Watch What Happens Live, too. I was kind of bored. Sidebar, can we talk about Lala? Andy, I appreciate how you slipped in that whole conversation. When was the last time you saw Larsa? Because remember, Larsa used to be best friends with Kim Kardashian, and Lala's best friends with Kim Kardashian. And I like how we slipped it in there. But Lala, if you came on my show, I would have been direct. I was like, so, do you talk with Larsa? Are you friends with Larsa? Because I know Larsa used to be best friends with Kim, but she's no longer with Kim, and she signed the NDA. And because she signed the NDA, she can never talk about Kim. Did you sign an NDA, Lala?
What is this, honey?
I can't wait for my daytime talk show.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Oh, I can't wait. Oh, Lala, girl. Lala was very, guarded. Did you guys notice that? She was very guarded. But anyway. Mr. J. Reed says, Queen of who? Remember the lady that asked the question to Phaedra in the audience says, you're the queen of Atlanta. I was like, all right, girl. All right. PA says that Phaedra coming back for a peach again or replace Kenya's peach. I think she replaced Kenya's peach, but based on what Andy has said, Phaedra is here to return. But okay. Jessica says that Lala was boring. I think it was because she was being guarded. Like when certain questions came up, she was just like, I was like, Lala, you forgot where you were? Let me see. Archie says that Lala is a friend to everyone. She's loyal to all the people. Including Swiss Beats.
So nasty.
And that's what happened.
So rude.
Oh, see, some of the things I say goes over some of y'all heads, but I'm gonna move on. I guess a lot of them won't be coming on my daytime talk show, huh? All right. Amani says the Queen of Thoughtlandia. That's Porsha. She's probably the Duchess of Thoughtlandia. Lord, I've been talking for an hour and a half. So anyway, so Phaedra gets caught up with Porsha. And what I noticed, Porsha is trying to spin a narrative what frickin' Frack actually represents. She wants to spin the narrative in the after show. She's like, you know what frickin' Frack is? It's actually about women empowerment.
Lies! The lies!
She's like, because that's how Phaedra was to me when I first started on the show. She was like, you know, be you, be yourself. That's what frickin' Frack for me. It's about women empowerment. It's about women supporting women. Wait, huh? Wait, you women supporting women? Okay. The same way that you talked over your friend's new song? The way that you took that lady's husband? And I get it. Valentine innocent. She just got just had another baby by the pool boy. So fine. So she's trying to spin the narrative with that frickin' Frack. It's sort of like this women empowerment movement. So for her, that's what frickin' Frack represents. Okay, girl. Whatever. So they get caught up, and Phaedra, and I will give it to Phaedra. She was funny in some of her commentary when talking about the girls, and she was talking about how some of the people that she knows. So she says that, she's like, Kelly's the small one. She's come to the what is she? I guess her shop that we saw in Married to Medicine. And she's like, she's so small. She's like a garden gnome. You know I like little people. You remember when I had the little people? I love it. She's like, that's like my fetish. Ooh, yes, I like little people. Phaedra's always been weird. I'm like, huh? I'm like, okay, fine. All right, so she knows Kelly. And then she says she knows Britt. And she says that she takes shots at Britt. She's like, Britt has more bodies than Willie, the mortician. she's got a lot of suitors, but she got married, so you know she's locked it down. Okay, all right. Oh, thank you, so Mellow. The showroom, yeah, her showroom. Okay, she got a lot of businesses over there. Is that? Never mind. I'm not gonna. I'll leave that commentary for Kempire After Dark, the villain era. What I think all these businesses actually mean. So she talks about that. Then she calls Drew. She's just like, oh, Drew. And Porsha brings up, oh yeah, she's with Dennis. You know, she's working with Dennis now. She's like, oh, Drew's selling hot dogs. And she's like, well, Porsha then says, well, she might be wanting to sit on his hot dog. And she's like, what? I thought she was more into tacos. What? I thought she was more into tacos. I guess that was supposed to be like a lesbian read. Okay. All right. Because she's like, the women and the people in Atlanta are very fluid. Phaedra and Porsha then discuss not knowing the fact that Angela, she's like, Charles is married. For me, it doesn't land that they don't know that Charles is married. First of all, he's a celebrity. He lives in Atlanta. Y'all know that he's a married man. It's not like they don't go out to events together. It's not like they haven't been on the red carpet. And it's not like there wasn't this big story that Wendy Williams talked about on her daytime talk show about him being married. So I just feel like it doesn't land the same when we're talking about someone that's been a public figure, that's been married for almost 10 years. Maybe some of you ladies in Atlanta, not all the ladies, I'm talking about these particular ladies and what they've been accused of, particularly turn a blind eye to someone being married. Maybe that's the convenient story that some of you down there, Phaedra and Porsha, conveniently tell yourselves, I didn't know he was married. When we clearly, the streets have been talking that he's married and they're on red carpets together. Like, it's not a secret. And now he's showing up on a whole reality show with his wife. Maybe conveniently, both of you in Portia's mind, you think that's a read. That, I know. The read doesn't land when you are being accused of flirting and being with married men. Just did I lie? Come on. It doesn't land the same. There you go, Angela. Use that read on them. Use that read on them at the reunion, because you know they're going to bring it up. I didn't know he was married. You know, Atlanta streets be talking, and we never heard about Angela. I bet you heard about me when Wendy Williams talked about me. I bet maybe in your head y'all want to conveniently not know that he's married. Anyway. Look, nope, I'm not going to talk about the Lala Tea. Maybe on Club Kempire this week, I'll talk about the Lala Tea. We will revisit the Lala Tea on Club Kempire, right? Club Kempire baddies, yeah. All right. So we had that moment with Porsha and Phaedra. They call Shamia and Kelly because Porsha wants to invite Phaedra on the girls' trip that they're planning. Okay, so they call them. They all like, "Hey, Faye. Didn't Faye just tell Shireen not to call her Faye, but it's okay if Kelly does? Okay, fine." I'm feeling like we're going to see more of the Apollo storyline this season. I've seen what Apollo's been doing on social media. Was Apollo and Shireen trying to get back together? Because she blasted him over the weekend for cheating again. Okay. Fine. All right, let me get to the callers. Callers, you have 30 seconds. Because I ended up talking for so long. And it's almost 3 o'clock and people are barbecuing. Maybe I go get me a burger or a hot dog. Dennis, you selling hot dogs still? I don't want no hot dog. Anyone know the hot dog be burping them up? I'm going to have to go to Coney Island and get me a hot dog. That's pretty far to go for a hot dog. Where else do they sell Nathan hot dogs? All right. Ooh, that sounds kind of good though. But then I'm gonna have to take an enzyme or something. Hot dogs. All right, Miss Z, thank you so much for the super chat. Miss Z says, Kempire, did you see Ralph's latest Memorial Day video? Are you talking about the video that we just showed, Miss Z? Or did he post another one? Let me know, because I really don't feel like going to his account and looking. Maybe he has me blocked, who knows? Isis, thank you so much for the super chat. Isis says, Charles Oakley reminds me of Bronwyn's hubby Todd. We talked about that. Too old for the foolishness and not a fan of the show. You can tell they're over it in every scene. We've compared him to the Todd father. But I feel like even the Todd father shows some sort of affection and love towards Bronwyn that I'm not seeing. Just thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate your support. And shout out to those of you that send in cash apps, Venmos, PayPals, things like that. We see that after live. All my notifications are off. But thank you so much for that support. If you would like to support the channel in that way, you can. All that information is available in the description. Sam, thank you so much for another super chat, or for a super chat. Sam says, the Aquarius part of me knows not to trust Phaedra. What? Not just what we've seen of Phaedra. The Leo moon is ready to welcome her back and finally tune in the rest of the season. Sam, not the Leo moon in you. Okay, fine. That's I'm open to Phaedra returning, I guess. I mean, we have no choice in the matter at this particular point, but we shall see. We shall see. All right, let me get to the callers. Again, don't forget the opinions of the callers do not represent the opinions of myself, TheKempire LLC, or our sponsors. Speaking of our sponsors, I do want to shout out Butter. Again, don't forget you can get 10% off with our discount code butterskin.com/Kempire. And I've been trying out their body wash, and their body butter. This is the thing. There are a lot of products that you'll use today that feel very manufactured. Their body butter, I feel like, did they make this fresh and send this to me? Because I was like, oh, this feels like body butter that I've made myself. Like, it's a good thickness, good quality, smells like actual natural product. So be sure to check out all of the amazing things that you can get from Butter. All that information will be available in the description. Paola, we talked about The Handmaid's Tale, but I'm probably going to talk about these next 2 episodes, the final episode of The Handmaid's Tale on Club Kempire this week. Because isn't this week the finale? Right? I think so. Hey, Rita. Rita, thank you so much for the super chat. Rita says, I am so late to this recap because of work. The episode had me laughing quite a few times, bare naked. The Kempire Live. Wait, the Kempire Live. Oh, Villain Era Fund is slowly growing. Thank you so much, Rita. We appreciate your support always. All right. Let me close out this stuff so I can get to the callers. All right. So shout out to all of our members that are already backstage that want to share their opinions. Please, callers, respect the timer. All right. It's okay if you just say hi and get into what you want to share. Again, the opinions of the callers do not represent the opinions of myself, the Kempire LLC, or our sponsors, and everything that they say is alleged. Okay? Okay. And everything that I said in this live recap is alleged. Right, Lala? Judgy Justice is backstage. Judgy Justice, what did you want to share?
Hey, Kempire. I wanted to say that honestly, at this point, Drew needs to go ahead and talk to a different lawyer for defamation. With Porsha running around, keep saying that she was sliding down some hot dogs with her buns. This is ridiculous. And then also, I agree with you on the fact that Dennis is allowing this to keep going, and for me, if that was me as the artist and this is my manager, he's allowing these things to be said about me. That's defaming. That's belittling me as an artist and my capabilities for future relationships with other people. Britt's event was a half scheme. It seemed like she just quickly got involved with this clubhouse and found a way, because they do reviews every 60 days for memberships. So it's something, that's why she didn't know anybody. That's why nobody was coming up talking to her, because this is not a place that she's accustomed to. And then also, I wouldn't be surprised that they face other violations for their dress code on the course, because they have a strict dress code policy. So I'll leave it at that. Leave it to somebody else. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge Justice. Someone reminded me. Thank you so much for reminding me. I forgot to do my poll, Jill. Thank you for the reminder. Let me do my poll. Okay, so the results of the other poll in regards to how you guys would rate this week's episode. You guys, 58% of you rated this week's episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta between 4 and 6. 21% of you rated between 7 and 10. And 19% of you rated it between 1 and 3. Eee. All right. Let me now do a new poll. Let me see, not Q&A, please hold. Let me do a poll. How would you rate the return of Phaedra? Let's do that. Okay. This will be interesting to see how you guys would rate the return of Phaedra. Okay? Feel free. And live chat, those of you watching on TikTok, be sure to let me know how you guys will rate the return of Phaedra from 1 to 10. To be said on TikTok says 0. Okay. Sunsure says, when are you having another town hall meeting? Miss the rope. The rope was just recently cleaned. So stay tuned. All right. We got an 8 though. We got an 8 on TikTok. We got a 2. We got a 0 out of 10. All right, let me get some more callers while I do this. All right, Miss Bernice is backstage. We're gonna bring Miss Bernice up next. Miss Bernice, what did you want to share?
Hey, Kempire, how you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm fine. What up, to everyone? Happy Memorial Day, everyone. Okay. Angela is trying to give like the Karen and her husband facade, like they this one big happy marriage and everything, lovey-dovey, when actual it's more like married with children. She's Peggy and Charles is Al Bundy. That's what he's giving me. I'm just here so I won't get a case. I'm just here. I'm just supporting her. I'm just here. And she knows what her husband is capable of. And he's been like that for their marriage. So that's their marriage. Okay, woo. About it.
Thank you, Miss Bernice.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
All right, live chat. We're almost at 1,200 likes. Let's keep liking the video. I'm going to drop the call link for you guys as well. All right. And let's bring up Cynthia next. Cynthia, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Atlanta?
Hi, Kempire. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good, Kempire. Happy Memorial Day.
Thank you.
Yesterday's episode was a 4. I'll give it a 4. I agree. You made a lot of good points, Kempire, with Phaedra apologizing. She's never going to apologize. That was a perfect time for her to apologize.
And move on.
Perfect. And move on. Just say you're sorry. But, she's a Scorpio, And also, Kempire, one other thing, the single AF Live, my favorite couple, is expecting Lauren and Cameron.
We talked about that at the top.
Yes, I love them. I'm so happy for them.
Thanks, wait, no, we didn't talk about that. We talked about AD and Ollie expecting. I didn't hear that. I know they were on the.
It's on people. Yeah, Lauren and Cameron are expecting.
Oh, congrats to them.
My favorite couple. My favorite only couple.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Cynthia, for calling in.
Thanks, Kempire.
And for the news. Oh, congratulations to Lauren and Cameron. Because I know that they were going through that whole journey. So congratulations to them on expecting. I thought she was talking about Ollie and AD because they had just announced that they're expecting and they're also engaged as well. All right. Elijah's backstage. We're going to bring Elijah up next. Elijah, what did you want to share about RHOA?
Hey, Kempire.
Hey.
So I wanted to say that honestly, the episode for me, the season is a little bit like it's been all right, but it's a little bit confusing because sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not that great. And this episode was a little weird to me today, but I did have quite a few laughs, in the show. And I think Angela, yet again, is just, she's everything. That's mother right there. And then Brit, just in general, she just does not fit in. And then, the other thing that throws me off is then you see like I'll just say this. You see like bloggers that are clearly kissing the BBL in the background. It's like they're trying to push it. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to push Brit and make fetch happen, and it's not happening. And so, but I think she's gonna come back because they allegedly said that every housewife has a 2-season contract, a 2-season contract. Supposedly, someone said. So I feel like low-key they might give her another season on purpose. I just don't know, but she needs to go.
I doubt they're going to give newbies a 2-season contract, but okay. Thanks, Elijah. I don't believe that, especially for when it's a reboot. I don't believe that. All right, Nicole, we're going to bring up next. Nicole, what did you want to share when it comes to RHOA?
Hey, Kempire, how are you doing?
Oh, well, how are you?
I'm fine. First, I just want to call in about Antonio Sabato Jr. I'm so disappointed in him. Like I loved him from General Hospital, Jagger. My car even named after him for years. But what I want to say about and then I want to say with Antonio, he's a leap year baby. He was born February 29th. So that explains he's a Pisces and a leap year. So there's a lot. Yeah. And what I want to say about Phaedra, people need to stop making excuses for her. She's just a hustler. I just feel like, for her to be on somebody, that's anybody's job, for somebody to hurt you on your job and take all that stuff. That's why I love you always talk about HR, because people are forgetting that these reality shows are actually a job itself. Yeah. So how would they feel somebody who has put these allegations against you comes back to your job? Like, really, people, get a grip. All right. Thank you. Have a good one.
Thanks, Nicole. Take care. Zoe, we're going to bring up next. Zoe, what did you want to share?
Hi, Kempire. You asked how the weather is down here. Winter does not winter, depending on where you are in the city. If you're in the East Coast, it's like Miami. It's spring, summer, hasha, right? And even the African Americans who come here are like, when is winter coming? We're like, dude, winter was 2 months ago. They're like, have you been to Chicago? We're like, no. So, but summer, it gets really hot. Makeup melts. It's bareface season, braids, or shave your head off. It's what it is. But when it comes to this show, Atlanta, I have never been embarrassed of Atlanta until the season. Yes, it's a black show. However, the things that they did never made me feel embarrassed to be associated with them. And even when Kenya tried with that whole Brandon fight and tried to bring black and race into it, Nini shut it down, rightfully so, because it had nothing to do with it. But this season of Atlanta, it's embarrassing and it's clingy. Like, it's like, I hate how they broadcast black people. I hate how they are showing us. It's not a good look. I'm not saying that black people are perfect or a monologue or whatever that is. However, it is embarrassing to watch these girls do what they do, and I don't like it. Hopefully they change it and learn to have a little bit of class and fun. Keep it cute. Okay. That's all I gotta say.
Okay. Thanks, Zoe. All right. Know the Queen is backstage. So this might be the great time for me to go to South Africa. I don't mind a winter. Know the Queen, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire.
How are you?
I'll help you out a little bit with this hair. The Go Naked hair starts at 12 inches for the wigs and 10 inches for the bundles. So those are all the starting prices. So if you want your hair to look like Porsha's, you're probably spending close anywhere from $600 to $800, depending on if you're doing a weave or a wig.
Okay.
And if you're doing raw or regular bundles as well.
Okay.
So I think the most expensive I did see was over $800 on her website.
Oh, okay. So would you consider the hair on her website expensive in comparison to other places?
I would consider it reasonable for good quality hair.
Okay.
I don't know if her hair is good quality. I've seen no reviews or anything like that. So I personally wouldn't risk my money until I seen somebody I trust try it. I don't know who
like Drew?
Drew ain't it.
Oh.
Drew ain't the one. But yeah, Porsha's hair looks cute, but the street says she don't even wear gold naked hair. So I don't know.
Okay. All right. So what did you want to say about Real Housewives of Atlanta? I'm going to start your timer now.
Britt is boring. Shamia is annoying. Like, just corny. It's too much for me. But yeah, they can wrap it up. I don't know what even if Phaedra was the all-star housewife of the universe, she's not doing nothing in 2 weeks. Not to save this season. So we can just wrap it up. Put it in the box. We need one part in that reunion because nothing has happened. And how everybody doesn't know that Charles Oakley is married, but everybody knows that Charles Oakley had a side baby.
That part, no, the queen.
Right.
That part. All right. Yeah, because how are you having a side baby if you're not married?
Exactly.
Boop. Thank you for catching it, no, the queen. Bye. And Angela, point that out too. Okay. How y'all know he got a side baby if he wasn't married? Again, I think in their side, chick mentality, they're thinking, oh, he's not married. They don't see marriage. All right, Tamara's backstage. Tamara, what did you want to share?
Hey, Kemp.
Hey.
Your imitation of Brit was so on point.
Oh, thank you.
It reminded me of Dorit's imitation of Erica and her confessional. It was so on point. Oh, and I give Phaedra's return a 0.5. Phaedra and Porsha can miss me with their faux moment empowerment. Like, freaking, they're all about gossip and acting like two silly high school mean girls. And last thing, as for Phaedra talking about little people being a fetish, that was so cringe.
Yeah.
And I get what she was trying to convey, but I couldn't help but think, what if someone said that about Black people? I like Black people. They're so cute. They're my fetish, So Phaedra, thank you for your services, but I'll pass.
Oh, thank you so much, Tamara. All right, Chef Lorraine's backstage. Chef Lorraine, what did you want to share about RHOA?
Hello, Kempire. How are you?
Oh, well, how are you?
I'm great. All right, so I'm going to make it quick. I would prefer, even though I can't stand that Ralph, his food looked way better than that $1 million food that Trump had. That's one. Two, I think Brit should have had her housewife people in a VIP section so that her other guests would not feel slighted that they were not able to eat and have all of the things that the housewives guests had. That was extremely tacky. And she needs to eat that. And that's about it, really. Oh, and yeah, that's it. I don't want to go over. I love you.
Thank you so much, Lorraine.
All right. See you in Atlanta.
Yes, that's right. Don't forget, guys, the Kempire After Dark, the villain era. Starts off in Philadelphia on July 10th. Philly, go get your tickets today. Meet and greets are available for that show. Then we're coming to Atlanta on August 5th. Meet and greets are available for that show. Atlanta, y'all already showing out. I just looked at those numbers this morning. I was like, okay, Atlanta, I see you. Go get your tickets. And then we're coming back to Washington, D.C. This will be our second Washington, D.C. show this year. Go get your tickets for Washington, D.C. We'll be there on August 22nd. And then, of course, here in New York City, we'll be here again on September 12th. That's a Friday night. Go get your tickets for that show. There's also a live stream option for those of you that can't make it or live in other parts of the country or world. And you'll be able to have the playback, I think, for like a week. Mods, just remind me if I'm incorrect. I think it's a week you have the playback. All right. Anthony's backstage. We're going to bring Anthony up next. Anthony, what did you want to share about RHOA's latest episode?
Hey, everyone. Anthony from Los Angeles, California. How are you, Kempire?
Oh, well, how are you?
Good, good. So I'm going to give this episode a 4 out of 10. Honestly, this whole thing of Brit and her event, I'm not even understanding it. This bear, why is it naked? I'm not even understanding this whole thing. I don't get it. I don't get her excuse for it, her reason for it. No. And I feel secondhand embarrassment for everybody else there that didn't even get a plate of food, not even a drink, probably just water. I don't get it. And then for Phaedra's return, I'm gonna give it a -1 out of 10. I just can't get behind her or even support any of this. She even had an opportunity on Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip and said nothing. So I just don't get it why they brought her back. It's just a waste of time. I just don't get it. But that's all. Thank you so much, Kempire.
Thanks, Anthony. Take care. All right, Peyton's backstage. We're bringing Peyton up next. Peyton, what did you want to share?
Hi, Kempire. How are you?
Oh, well, how are you?
Good, thank you. I did want to say, I tried to send you a DM. It was, did you see the Phaedra's Cheez-It commercial
Yes.
with her famous reads? And I just saw Brit in the comments like, now check that. I'm just like, oh my God, this girl, she's such a fan. You know, that was her read at the end for Kenya.
Yeah.
I'm like, she's such a fan. Anyway, Phaedra's return. I like it. I feel like Portia is definitely more comfortable with Phaedra, so that's good. And also Andy, he posted those old clips of Nene. You know how they're doing like those baby clips with the different reunions and stuff like that.
Yes.
He reposted it, and it was of Nene. I was like, oh, maybe this is a good sign.
Based on what I've heard, it's a good sign. Nene's already in the graces of the network already. So I mean, I don't know if it means next season she'll be back, but she's definitely back into the in her words, family over there. And so
okay, thank you.
Thanks, Peyton. All right, Jess, we're going to bring up next. Jess, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Atlanta's latest episode?
And so I just wanted to share that, like, I remember years ago when Portia was doing her wedding, it always seemed like they would always ask Phaedra about how's Portia doing, like, do y'all talk or whatever, and it would always seem like they're just like they text here and there, but they've never been in the same room for the past 8 years. And it's like for them to come on the screen and act as if like, oh, like we hang out and oh, like we're so chummy and everything. I just kind of felt like it was kind of fake, and it kind of proved that even back then that it was sort of like this like, oh, we're coworkers type of thing where we're gonna play it up for the cameras. And so it just kind of just seemed funny in a way. So I just want to point that out.
Yeah, I agree. Thanks, Jess. Yeah, I mean, based on what we saw, did they have any animosity? No, but they definitely weren't hanging out. I think we should call it what it is. They felt like they needed to bring in someone. Phaedra basically got the call. I think that's the only reason why she left Married to Medicine. If she didn't get the call to return over at RHOA, she would still be at Married to Medicine. Point blank period. All right. Let me bring up Donna next. Donna, what did you want to share?
Oh, good afternoon, y'all. Hey,
Hey.
Camp.
Hey, how are you?
I am wonderful. I woke up today. My thing is about Brit.
Okay.
Oh Lord Jesus.
Oh.
First, oh my goodness, the fact that she would bring out those gifts to the people sitting at the table and everybody else wasn't supposed to be fed, that was such a level of petty that I will never forget. So I hope she gets what she needs and they get her up off this show so we can get some real entertainment.
Oh, all right. Thanks so much,
And I
Don.
want to thank the people in the chat real quick. The people from South Africa. I am leaving tomorrow, heading over by Johannesburg.
Good for you. I'm not.
I'll let y'all know about it, and I'm taking layers. Thanks, Natty M, for the info.
Thank you, Donna. Donna, have
Love
a fantastic trip and safe flight.
Appreciate you so much.
Bye.
Have a great day.
You too. I'm jealous. I want to go to South Africa. Soon. This soon come. All right. Let's bring up Love Calm Peace. Love Calm Peace, what did you want to share? Love Calm Peace, you're muted. Love Calm Peace, you're muted.
Can you hear me? Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. I can hear you now.
Okay. Hey, I miss you. I've been missing you a lot. But okay. I just wanted to say that I have been I'm checked out from RHOA. I've been trying to watch your live, the Brooke Ashley, but I mean, like the last few, it's like, I don't know, it's taking me weeks to even watch. Like, I'm checked out. Don't care about Phaedra. Don't care about Brit. Like, please get her off the screen ASAP. I don't know. It's just, it's a no for me. Phaedra's return, they could have kept her in the trenches wherever she was at during her little pause. Because it's not authentic. And yeah, I think I'm just done with it. And I'm trying to watch the reviews to support you. I caught this one today, so I was like, okay, great. But yep, don't care. I like Angela though. But yeah, it's just I'd give the whole situation zeros across the board. But all right, love you.
Thank you so much, Love Call Peace. We appreciate your support. All right, let's bring up Dr. Payne next. Oh, there we go. Dr. Payne, what's going on?
Hello?
Yeah, there we go. Hey.
Okay, I'm sorry about the connection. Okay, it's the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Tim Terrell was right. Shamia is cringe. She makes like literally my soul sad. She's so spineless. I think lapdog was a compliment. Brittany, oh my God, no comment. Skip, desperate enough to dust off Phaedra. I can't believe they would do that. Phaedra and Portia talk like they're women in the streets as if they are familiar with a guy like Charles. Not like women who are picked, but more like people who trick or treat. That's what I want to say. But you know, no treat, just the first part. That's it.
Thank you so much, Dr. Payne. Oh, perfect time. You see how she did that? All right. Gemini, Nola girl. Gemini, what's going on? Happy Gemini season.
Yes, I have a birthday coming up on Thursday.
Happy early birthday.
Thank you, thank you. Just a few things. I think that Britt's idea was a great idea. It was just poorly executed. For her to have those folks, I mean, she could have at least given them like a 10% discount to her, naked wear or whatever it's called, and gave them hors d'oeuvres. Goodness grief. Kelly is a flip flopper. Girl, what is your problem with Drew? Is it because Shamia has a problem with her? Because it's just really, what is she lied about that she thinks that she lied about? Shamia's just a different disappointment. She and Phaedra, not Phaedra, Portia are two sides of the same coin. One other point. Phaedra, that outfit she had on is the exact same outfit that she boarded that plane on in at the end of Married to Medicine.
Yes.
So she must have run right over to film with Portia in that same outfit. Just wanted to point that out.
Thank you for
Have a
catching
good
that.
one, Kim.
Thank you, Gemini Nola girl. Yeah. That was a Gucci outfit, right? Mm-hmm. Jamina's backstage. Jamina, what did you want to share?
Good evening, everybody. Hey, Camp. I'd give this episode about a 6. I had a good laugh at Brit's situation. And I think if Kenya was there, she would have had the best reads. We would have been gagging.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm just happy to say I told you also. We were going to see Portia for who she is. It was going to give love and hip hop. And it's all of that. I'm so disappointed in Shamia, but I'm so happy we got Angela. Oh my gosh, she's so amazing. I love her.
Yeah.
And she keeps them on their toes. Shamia needs to sort her life out. It's like you said. I think you said it a couple of reviews back. Like she's holding herself back, literally.
Yeah.
And I'm glad she barked and embarrassed herself because she is a lapdog.
Jamina, thank you
Bye, y'all.
Thank you so much. Take care. All right, Miss Bernice called back in. Miss Bernice, did you have more to say?
Yes, I do.
Oh.
Because if Shamia don't realize that you don't have to dim your light in order for somebody else to shine. Walk into your greatness and don't let nobody stop you from doing that. And Drew, if you don't go and reincarnate Matt Locke, Johnny Cochran, and Perry Mason in order to take this man to court and get your house, get him out the basement, and get your life in order, I don't know what to do.
Damn. All right. Thank you, Miss Bernice, for calling back in.
Okay, love you.
Thank you. Bye. Shout out to everyone that called in. We appreciate you guys being a part of our Real Housewives of Atlanta recap. Shout out to those of you watching on TikTok. We appreciate the gifts, the likes, the taps of the screen. Those of you watching on Twitch, Twitter, and of course on Facebook. Here are my final thoughts on this episode. I thought it was an okay episode. I thought that it was definitely mid. I feel like the season so far has been mid. I understand completely why they kept the Kenya of it all in. I also understand why they brought Phaedra in at the end. I'm going to see and watch how Phaedra plays out for the rest of the season. However, I feel like her coming in, this was her opportunity to be like, you know what? I was dead wrong for spreading that rumor or sharing that rumor on here. I don't believe it was a rumor at all. I think she just made that up because she just was not friends with Candy at the time. I feel like if it's been how many years? This was your opportunity to apologize to Candy. That would have helped you with the people that are still on the fence. You've shown no accountability, and you come into this new season with the same thing. And I feel like you're about to do the same thing with these other women. We shall see. We shall see. But here we are. Guys, we're almost at 1,300 likes. Zoe, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Zoe says, best time to visit is summer, December to January. It's more fun. Events to attend. Like, vibe is different. Do Cape Town. And it's like LA. And Johannesburg is like New York. Durban is like Florida or Miami. So use that as a guideline. Noted. Thank you. All right. I'm going to have to do a tour over there in South Africa to go all those places. Kendra, thank you so much for the super chat. Kendra says, Britt Edie gives face beat, hair laid, and credibility cremated. Bring back Miami. Coming in a couple weeks, Miami. And I can't wait to at least have a little bit of a break and talk about a show that we normally really like. Right? Right. Thank you guys so much for all of the super chats, the Venmos, the Cash Apps, the shares, and of course, all of the likes. We appreciate you guys. Thank you to our King's Guards. Be sure to say thank you to them as well. Thank you to, let me answer this person. Channel says, Candy isn't there, so why would she? Because you're bringing it up. They're talking about it as her intro. It was a part of her storyline. Clearly, they thought it was necessary for them to talk about that. So why not say or show some? Because again, not only was Candy offended, people that liked Phaedra, people that were fans of Phaedra, were offended and are still offended. That's something that people still bring up about Phaedra. And that's part of the reason why people do not want her on the show. So if I'm talking about this from a HR or a PR perspective, you should come in, show accountability, apologize so that everyone that's watching can move on. But if you are not willing to show accountability and move on, the whole theme of Real Housewives, the audience will continue not to be able to move on. Just saying. And based off what we're hearing and what we saw in that mid-season trailer, it looks like Phaedra's up to her old reindeer game, spreading rumors. And not really, showing any accountability in regards to like, okay, I spread a terrible rumor. I really don't believe it was a rumor she was spreading. I think she created that. Zoe, thank you for another super chat. Zoe says, almost forgot it's my birthday today, guys. Happy birthday, Zoe. Yes, I forgot you're a Gemini. Thank you for the super chat, Sharon. Sharon says, I wonder if someone will call out Phaedra the way that Kelly called out Porsha. Why you lie on Candy? Instant cool points to whatever castmate does it. I bet it be Angela. You're right. Someone should call it up. I think Drew mentioned it recently in a tweet. So don't be surprised that it won't come up. Okay. Who knows? It may have come up and they could have edited it out. So who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Isha, thank you so much for sharing the live on TikTok. We appreciate you guys. Thank you to everyone that liked the video and to the 11 of you that disliked. Keep watching, boo. I will see you guys later. Don't forget to check out our sponsor, Factor Meals, in the description. If you want to know more about my skincare, check out Butter. That's also available in the description. And everything Kempire, including our new Pride and Juneteenth merch, available in the description. Again, thank you all for being here. Everyone have a fantastic rest of your Memorial Day. Go have a hot dog on me. Bye, y'all.
Here we go now.
Pause. Who's still here? This is like a damn Ryan Coogler movie. Gotta stay to the end. Just when you thought we were over, I just ended the poll. This was an interesting poll. So my poll question was, how would you rate the return of Phaedra? Everyone has rated, not everyone, 50% of you rated it between a 1 and a 3. 34% of you rated it between a 4 and a 6. And 14% of you rated it between a 7 and a 10. I'm going to ask that question again when we get into a couple more episodes, because I am going to give grace and see if that number improves. But 50% of you rated that Phaedra's return a 1 to 3. Live chat, as we're playing the ending credits again, let me know what your specific rating of Phaedra's return is. And it will be interesting to see the ratings. If the rating, I feel like the ratings will probably go up a little bit this week, but it'll be interesting to see if it stays that way. If we start to see a growth. We didn't see it on Married to Medicine or Real Housewives of Dubai. Bye, y'all.
Here we go now. Here we go.